I see you. You got the Lois Lane red hair going on.
Yeah, I wanted to try something a little different.
Yeah, eyelashes on flickety fleek.
Thank you. You see it.
You know what I mean? Lip gloss is popping. Hold on. What
I'm trying.
you doing? What you doing after the show? What's going on?
Nothing. I'm in here by myself.
What's happening? That's what's up. That's what's up. That's what's up. I'm all about it. Hey, I'm one of them people that, my version of looking nice is like kind of, it's like my norm, right? So I go to the grocery store and get questioned as to why I look like that going to the grocery store. I'm like, for one, you never know who you gonna meet,
Oh man, I got a good grocery store.
A grocery store.
Yes,
store.
And actually it happened today.
Oh, today? Okay.
Yeah.
So this is a fresh.
This is fresh. Well, actually, some of it happened today, some of it happened before. So maybe about a month ago, like right before my birthday, I was grocery shopping with my daughter, and we got approached by a stranger. He was like, "Would it kill you to smell?" So I kind of flashed him a grin, like, "Leave me the hell alone." And
hold on. So a stranger just came up to you and was like, "Would it hurt you to smile?"
Right. So I was like,
"Huh."
So then he starts the conversation. He tells me he's 60 years old and he's a preacher. Tells me what church he preaches at. Asks me, like, do you go to church? And I'm telling him, like, my little spiel, saying about how I was raised in church. My grandfather was a deacon. I know, saying, so we're very churched and saved over here. So you can save your time over there. So he held me up. Like, the more I tried to get away from him, the more he kept talking. And so finally we were able to get away from him, and my daughter goes, "Wow, you tried to end that conversation so many times. He just didn't get the hint, did he?" So like I promised him that I would go visit his church in order to get him to leave me alone.
Man.
I'm never gonna go visit this man's church because he's homophobic. And he talked about, saying like he likes people to dress a certain way. I know God said, "Come as you are."
Hold on. Y'all got into all of that at the grocery store?
In the grocery store, because he wouldn't. He told me his whole life story in the grocery store.
Lord, in the grocery store.
In the grocery store, I shit you not.
Let me share.
So when we're filling out the parking lot, I filled out the parking lot so fast. My phone was in my pocket. It sent out an SOS. So this is like right before my birthday. And like I said, I promised the man I would go to his church to get him to leave me the hell alone. So today, my daughter goes, "Can we make potato soup for dinner?" I was like, you know what? I might can accommodate that. So I didn't want to go back to this same Kroger. Mind you, the man told me where he lives at. He lives in my subdivision. So I'm scared to go outside walking. So we didn't go back to that Kroger because I always be scared to go to that Kroger certain times of the day because I might run into this fool. We go to the Walmart instead. And I have this hair. And I don't look the same as I did when he met me before. He says, "I was just praying I was going to run into you again." The look on my face probably said, "Oh, fuck."
Yeah, because you can't mess with Jesus. You know what I mean? You can't mess with Jesus. Jesus done led you there. God done opened the door and the man done showed up.
At the other grocery store.
But hey, but
how do you remember what I looked like?
Come on now. If he remember, he remember. The man might have a photographic memory. You never know. But
and
I'm
I
just
have
saying.
Different hair this time. And my daughter goes, "Mama, you even switched your wig." I said, "He didn't remember me. He remembered you." I said, "He'd have never known it was me if you weren't with me this time."
Probably.
I blame you. But yeah, so I almost couldn't get away from him. So we were getting in the checkout line. He was in the checkout line. I looked at her, I said, "I think we forgot something." Because I didn't want him to wait at the end for us to finish checking out and try to walk out with us.
Yeah.
Well,
I tell you what, that's an amazing story. And all I can say is that guys are crazy. And I'm gonna hit you up after so you can tell me the name of the pastor. Because I know a lot of pastors in this city, so we go see who that was, so I could I couldn't imagine if I was a pastor, because I would be using the same line of laying of hands all the time. Like that would be my line. Something revolving around that.
He's 60 years old. Like, you ain't got nothing for me, bro. And you 60 years old, and I'm not cut out to be a preacher's wife. I'm manifesting a husband over here, so I ain't got time.
You ain't. Right. It don't mean you got to be as sanctified.
No.
What's up?
He's homophobic too, so I can't even be friends with some of my friends. Now we good.
Right.
What's up, Gigi?
Hey, what's up?
What's going on? What's going on? Well, look, I'm gonna go ahead and start the show. And y'all ready? Y'all ready to get it in?
Let's do it.
Yeah.
All right. All right, y'all. Again, it is October 19th, 2022. It's yours truly, Mr. Just As Joe. You got pretty brown skin and golden goddess right here with me on No Panties After Dark. Let's go ahead and get it in. We got a great show for you.
No Panties After Dark. Your adult relationship conversation. Going where most ones. Speaking on things most don't. It's no panties after dark. We put the relations back into relationships.
All right. Shout out to Ether Shakur, who, she's new to us, but been riding with us for a few weeks now. We appreciate you, sis. New York in the building. That's what's up. God bless you too. You know what I mean? I feel like, as we do this show, I mean, we got our bit of playtime in the beginning, but at the same time, I feel like we really, getting some shit done. Some people are really getting help because people be coming on and I mean, by the end of the show, they it's almost like Sunday at church. They feel good at the end of it.
You just had to go there with the church, huh?
I mean, I'm saying, it was you walked us there. What's going on, James Craycoff? What's going on, family? All right. We gotta work on that for the love of James.
That's gonna be lit.
Exactly. Man, don't turn out to flip on us and whatnot. We sit here, set up a date and everything, and the next thing you know, you're like Jeffrey Dahmer's little brother.
Shit! No,
don't do that, bro.
I don't think he. I mean, he might. He might.
Yeah.
But not like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
He might be people, ladies. Okay,
well, look, we're gonna go ahead and get into the timeline review. Y'all put some good stuff up out there, so we're gonna check it out. And that's what's cool about this. Let me tell y'all what we do is I let the ladies, they do most of the posting on our Facebook page. And so for the timeline review, what we do is we go and we check out our own timeline. All right. And as we check out our own timeline, just kind of bring some stuff together and let y'all look at it, and we talk about it and have fun with it. Okay. So again, it's the timeline review. We'll go ahead and check this out. And is there anything specific that y'all want me to hit up? Or
no, not really.
Mm-mm.
I tell you what, we should look at a couple of our own stuff. Let's peep this out right here.
One of my glasses.
It's titled "Feeling Alone, Date Yourself."
A society where people are afraid to be alone. People don't know how to go out, date themselves. They don't know how to go out and have a good time with themselves, their friends, or whatever. And everybody else, their friends or whoever's going home to somebody, they want to come home to somebody. So they string this person along that they know good and well they shouldn't be stringing along just for the sake of having a warm body on the other side of the mattress. Or
you know what I mean? You know what I mean?
Yep.
You know what I mean?
That was true.
Absolutely. So, let's see. I don't know if we looked at this before or not, but I remember seeing this, and it says, "Ladies, are we tired of waiting? Are we this tired?" Look,
saw that.
Look, she is pregnant,
listen,
holding that belly, and she's proposing. Dude,
he said
he's sitting there. But look at his posture, his facial expression. He's
like,
sitting there
oh
looking.
my God,
I mean,
you
talk about
have.
roles reversed.
Right, you should have.
You never ask. You gonna
Oh my
daddy out of me? I'm not a baby daddy no more. I'm gonna be a husband. That's what.
Look, she said he finally said yes. Finally.
Oh my God.
I mean, listen. I'm quite traditional. I'm quite old school when it comes to certain things. You know, I like real men and you know, real women. And believe me, there's some things that in this day and age we have to get used to. But I tell you what, that is not going to be one that I'm going to get.
Right, not me either. I'm not proposing to no dude. Sorry.
You know.
Let's take it back to the Bible. It says in the Bible, he who finds a wife finds a good thing and obtains favor from the Lord. It does not say she who finds a husband.
Yeah. True. Look at these pictures. More and more. Look, and she's just passing down that generational wreckage
to the daughter.
Display to the daughter right behind her. You know, that's sad. You know,
couldn't be me with
some of these comments are hilarious too. Here's another one. You know,
now you know this guy that I dated like many moons ago. He did tell me that his ex-wife proposed to him when they were on the beach in Cancun, and he said yes, and they got married.
Yeah,
I was like, wow,
I don't know.
I was like, I ain't never gonna propose to you. So if that's what it's gonna take for us to
right,
get
that's what you hitting around. I guess we ain't getting married.
It ain't happening over here, bro.
You know, I don't know, man. I can't. You know, I mean, look at this. I mean, what are these words for the Mitches? I mean, are these Mitches like?
Look at them, and they so excited. Look, the forehead kiss. Look at him.
Yeah.
Oh
look at the forehead kiss. That's
exactly
the most
like. I mean, forehead kiss. Listen. You know, because I do a forehead kiss. It's a once in a blue, but
not after you got proposed to.
Yeah, nah. Forehead kiss is like saying to me. It feels like I'm saying, you know, baby, I got you in like 30 different ways. Like I'm your security guard. I'm everything. Like I got you. Like that's what a forehead kiss is
amazing. But not after you got
feels
proposed
like to me.
To.
Yeah,
not after a proposal. It's not saying that.
No. Yeah, no.
It's saying you should have. You really, really, really shouldn't have.
But look at the guy over here in the blue jean jacket. He was like, "Oh my God, I can't wait to call mom."
Exactly. Like look at that. That's so not hilarious at all.
Yeah.
He looks like he's embarrassed.
Yeah, exactly.
Look at that guy. He's excited. Did he jump up and down?
Yeah.
Man.
I thought you never asked.
Hey, by the way, I'm just asking, did y'all get a chance to share the today's show yet?
I just shared it.
Okay, cool. All right, good stuff. Yeah, this is crazy. I mean, I feel like this right here. I feel like this is acting right here. Like
he's jumping up and down like he been waiting for this moment.
And yeah, look at this posture right here. He's like, I feel like that's acting, like he's being facetious. I don't know.
No, he been waiting. This is the moment he's dreamed of his whole life.
That's ridiculous. That's what that is.
He looked like it too.
Damn acting.
You know, man, terrible.
That is ridiculous.
Yeah. This is and it says African girls killing it. I really wonder if this is like if all of these pictures are from Africa or something.
Is that
like
customary
that,
over there in the motherland? Is that how they?
I don't know. I don't think so.
No, it's not customary. No.
I wouldn't make it over there.
If this is in Africa, then it would be customary to like for her to propose to him and then like propose to 5 other guys like right after this, and they all be her concubines.
Do she gotta go by him? Do she gotta get his family a goat?
I don't know.
No, not the goat.
Make it a lamb and we're gonna eat it.
Oh shit! She gotta pay his dowry. This is crazy.
Man, yeah. Let's go ahead and hit another one up here. That's what's up. Let's see. We got some good ones on here. Anything specific that y'all looking towards that I need to post? Anything? I mean, show anything funny? This was interesting. Just a thought-probing question. Ladies, this question is for you, or guys, you can chime in. What do women offer in a relationship that a man can't get from a cook, a maid, and a concubine?
The same thing a man can offer a woman that she can go pay for, take herself out to dinner and eat, or keep herself company with a good damn book. Shit.
Listen.
You are, yo. Gigi
And I
is
said
always
what I
quick
said.
to flip it. She's always quick to flip it. Quick.
I just thought I'd ask you the question.
Ladies, answer this question, and then Gigi just flips it right away.
That damn Gigi.
I like what James Edwards said. James Edwards said nothing, but that's not why you date. You date to build a partnership, a team. You're supposed to equally give and get. Overall, stop lying, because that, equally give and get, let's just be honest. In everything that happens throughout the marriage, there's no equally give and get, but,
hey,
it does balance out, at the end. I decompress with my partner. She releases her daily pressures with me. What you can extract from a person, material, wealth, sex, etc., is not the basis for building a relationship. Lead with that, and failure is the only possible outcome. Yeah, I thought that was dope.
He's a dope individual. I like him.
That's what's
I
up.
met him on Twitter like years and years ago.
Because he's married. I think he's married, right?
Yeah, I think so. But
because he be having to bounce sometimes because the wife he called. I think he said that a couple times on the show, so it's all good. Let's see. Vita Briscoe says you don't have someone that you feel safe enough to be vulnerable with. You don't have someone who encourages you to better yourself. You don't have someone who loves you. You don't have loyalty. Your worth is dependent upon being able to afford these people. Interesting. I like
very interesting.
Kim Nardi says loyalty, companionship, a partner, a family, daily affirmation. Yeah, that's true. I mean, you can get daily affirmation from a concubine and a maid. Even a cook. Depends on the cook you hire. You could get companionship from a concubine.
That's definitely companionship.
A little bit, yeah, definitely.
Some kind of form of companionship.
You get companionship from your maid too. I watched this some African series on Netflix called the Brave Ones or whatever, and dude was messing with his maid, and she was fine, and I was like, note to self: never hire a fine maid. Never.
Right, Arnold Schwarzenegger the way, huh? The maid.
Yeah. Exactly.
Remember Arnold Schwarzenegger had a baby by his maid.
He had a whole side baby by the maid, didn't he?
Yeah. I didn't know. She was so good
by
to
Consuela.
me. She was so good to me. I mean, my wife made me mad sometimes.
I hated him. I hated him being our governor. I did.
Oh man!
I just heard you out there in Cali. He was out there with you.
That's why I know. Right. I hated him being our governor. He was horrible.
Passion, ideas, nurturing, sparring partner, friendship. Sparring partner. I mean, I get it. You could. I mean, that's not what I think of when I think of my wife, but I that's cool. Some people, that might be the case. Friendship, I feel like you could be friends with your concubine. By definition, that's not necessarily the case. But
we keep going back to his concubine.
You could also be friends with your maid, and you could be friends with your cook.
You can.
You could be friends with your cook, your maid. How else do you have the sex with your maid? Is if you're not friends with them first.
Cecilia and Miss Minnie, they was friends.
Yeah, see?
And Miss Minnie taught her how to fry chicken. See?
Yeah, that's true.
But the passion, ideas, nurturing, I feel like that's definitely your spouse or something like that, right? So
we got some good TikToks too, some double standard TikToks.
Cool. So let's just check out here. Let's see. My last relationship in a nutshell.
Oh, period.
I'm getting sick of men saying, I want a woman to be my peace. No, you don't. You want a woman that won't question you when you bring in chaos in her life, talking about be my peace. How you want her to be your peace when all you doing is bringing nightmares in her life? And every time she speaks up, you say she's disturbing your peace. Of course she is. You cheating. You ain't available. You don't validate her. When you say you want a woman to be your peace, you mean you want a woman that don't speak up for herself, that don't call you out on your motherfucking bullshit. If you not doing bullshit, it's peaceful. You don't even have to say be my peace. Yep. You are bringing peace. What peaceful ass nigga has ever had to say be my peace? The chaotic men, the disrespectful men, cheating men, the men that got fucking problems, the men that want to have their cake and eat it too, those are the men that scream, I want a woman to be my peace. I'm getting sick
period. Period.
I mean,
I'm gonna share that on my real timeline.
I don't really agree with that, honestly. Because I mean, if you're single and you're speaking out about the type of person that you want, you know, why not be able to say, you know, because I mean, I have, you know, we have these conversations with other guys all the time, and you know, I'm supposed to be her piece. She's supposed to be, I mean, I'm supposed to, you know, give her peace. She's supposed to give me peace. You know, I mean, I don't know. I think that
I don't want to be anybody's peace. I want you to have peace within yourself, and then I promise not to disrupt that.
Of course, I think
right. So that's why I said my last relationship, because when he was here, he was acting like, well, you're supposed to be peaceful, blah blah. But you were sitting here interrupting my goddamn, you know what I'm saying? You was the one that's creating the hell. That's why I agree with him.
Yeah, and so you gotta have the peace within yourself. You can't look to somebody else to be your peace.
Sure, absolutely.
That's what he's saying.
And if you don't have that, don't
creating the hell.
Yeah, and I get that. I get that. I just feel like he was very like one-sided with what he was saying. Because I mean, every guy is not that, and every guy, you know.
I don't think he said every guy. He was talking about those particular guys who were always screaming, be my peace or whatever. Like my ex was always screaming that, you know, and
so guys sit there and say
like we're supposed to be peaceful, everything, you know, blah blah blah. That was his whole thing. But yet still he was the one that was creating the chaos.
I feel like that's a natural thing.
He expected there to be a peace, but he was the one creating all the chaos. Like,
you know what? I know where Joe's about to go with it. It's always
arguing over fucking ponytail holders and shit. You know what I'm saying? It's just stupid shit. And there we go.
You need someone to be your peace because you are full of chaos. And
that's a good
Yeah.
That's a red flag for me. That's when I'm supposed to see myself on.
I mean, and that is a red flag. Absolutely. The show's about red flags tonight. And that's definitely
I'm out.
A red flag.
That means you ain't got no peace. That means you have to come over and disrupt mine. I want no parts of that. I'm out.
Yeah, I mean, I think it should be. I think it's well in a healthy situation. I think it's a given that I have peace within myself. Therefore, I'm in a sense. She walks into peace every day. Because I'm peace within myself, right? So I'm not chaotic. I'm just, whatever. And same thing with her, that should be the case. It seems like a common sense type of thing. I don't understand the idea of people like yelling out like, hey, you supposed to, I don't know. That's just weird.
That's how people be so fucked up in relationships because, you always got two incomplete people trying to make each other whole. Well, the thing is, you supposed to come into this thing whole. You whole, I'm whole, and we add into each other. If I'm incomplete and you incomplete, we ain't never gonna make it work. It's not gonna work.
Right.
Now this was weird right here. I just heard some G-ish, but I really had to listen. A straight man said he was looking for another straight man to marry. I feel like I know where this person was trying to go, but it did not come across properly.
It didn't land.
Yeah, it didn't land. The relationship would be business only. they don't sleep with each other and can have as many females as they want. Like that's a roommate, right? Another man as a partner would probably lead to a stronger household because men tend to make more money than women and tend to be less emotional. And let's be honest, a woman's touch in the house usually makes it more comfortable for women. I could go further, but I gotta leave some for y'all. Which one of y'all is munching on ice and stuff like that?
I'm sorry.
It's like shaking in the background. I feel like we at church and somebody got that little thing that shakes with beans in it or whatever.
Tambourine.
Not the tambourine. The African thing. You know, y'all ain't had it at y'all church.
I know what you talking about. They did have it in my church. They played it when the choir marching in. I know what you're talking
Yeah.
about.
I'm sorry.
Hey, all right. So this is weird. I don't know about that, but I mean, they're describing a roommate. Okay,
basically,
they were trying. I think they were trying to be facetious about it, but it, like you said, it didn't land.
I don't know.
You know, because when you sit there and you say a straight man to marry, that just, you know, whoever was saying that was being facetious, wherever he got that from, and he just, when he related, he just
right, Brandon, he gay, AF, gay AF.
I mean, true. You know, I absolutely
ain't nothing to it. But he is gay AF.
I pronounce you Chuck and Larry. They got married.
I love that movie.
So let's take a look here. You know, these two were kind of serious, so I wasn't really looking to play these. Y'all can go back, look on the page, and play those.
What? We talking this double standard? Okay.
What? No, I'm talking about these right here.
Okay.
I posted these, and they a little more serious.
Okay.
You know, but we can play them at the end here. I'm hurry up and get to celebrity news you can't use. Let's see. This is a TikTok here. Let's peep this and see what this is all about.
I thought I'd give you a video of first date red flags. Honestly, nowadays, I am only expecting princess treatment. So here are some first date red flags for you guys to know about. Number 1, not confirming the date the night before or of the morning of. If he's leaving you with no information until literally the evening of the date, bin him. It means he's not that interested in you, or he just doesn't have time for you. First date, he should be grinding to get on that date with you and confirm. Red flag. Flag number 2, if he doesn't pull out the chair for you to sit. I'm sorry, I'm really traditional. So if he doesn't pull out the chair for me to sit, it's a no. Flag number 3, if he opens the door and walks before you, like he doesn't open the door, it's a no.
Yes.
This is a minimum for me. Number 4, if he doesn't text you if you got home okay after the date. Like, what game are you trying to play? He hasn't texted me if I've gotten home okay. It's a no. Safety first, people. Especially if you're a gentleman, you will be texting that girl if she got home okay. Number 5, if they don't plan the date / if they wing the date, like winging it. Is that the amount of effort you're going to show me? No. Next red flag, if you're on a date and he's rude to staff. At this point, I would be walking out the date. I'm not getting paid enough to be taking your shit. I'm sorry, but it's true. Another big red flag, if they don't ask you any question, it means they're just not that interested in you. They don't care about who you are and what you're doing. If a guy's really interested in you, they're going to want to know all about you. So if they're not asking you questions, it's a no. Date is there so that you can get to know each other. And if he doesn't want to know anything about you, say goodbye. Let me know if you want more first date red flags. Thought I'd give you a video.
I agree with that.
You don't play
right?
nothing?
You
don't play in Brandon?
That's what Brandon's. Yeah. Hey, but if you look at Brandon's profile picture, he kind of look like he don't plan shit. You know what I mean? As far as the date's concerned, you know what I mean?
You need to plan a date. Don't ask me what you want to do.
Like he don't plan shit. He's like, yo.
Right. What you want to do? Whatever you want to do. No, you taking me out on the first date. You plan a goddamn date. Why are you asking me out on a date, but I gotta plan the shit? That's just that's annoying.
Look, the fellas is really mad at this chick right here.
Oh well, they'll get over it. They'll be
he was like, I had to mute her. Like,
but you know, I feel where she's coming from because you got standards out the gate. Like if you say I don't require much, you gonna get the bare fucking minimum. And you know what? It's 2022, ladies. We gonna quit settling. We gonna say what we want up front. So that way they need to know if they have stepping, they gotta.
You know what? Hey, John said something the other day on Truth Be Told show, and it was dope as hell. He basically said if you change the bait for these fellas, and then the standards will change. Meaning, like, okay, if women stop accepting dudes walking around with pants sagging, this, that, and the other, then
I don't know nobody.
In order to get the woman, the dudes will step their game up. You know what I mean?
I don't have any friends that date men who sag their pants, but I know what you're saying. I get what you're saying.
Exactly.
But
so
I've always expected a man to open the door for me. I've always expected a man to pull out my chair. I don't. It's always been. To me, it is standard.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. So, for instance, there was a story that John gave about a brother who came to him because the woman who this brother approached said something about you need to what are you gonna be doing in the next 5 years? What are your goals in the next 5 years? And the brother was like, I don't know, or whatever. She said, look, come back to me when you got your goals written down, when you know what you're doing the next 5 years. He came to John, his acquaintance of his, and the brother was like, yo, what do I do? What do I say? And so they started talking about his goals or whatever. So again, if you sit there, because I remember at 19 walking up to this 25, 26-year-old that just like I was just excruciatingly enthralled by. And I had to step my game up. Like I had to tighten myself up, be better in order to date this woman. You know what I mean? So again, if you change the bait, then you could change a whole society of people, because guys, they do what they do for women. You get the cars, you get the house, you get the whatever for women, right? Because you're trying to attract a woman. Women do what the hell they do for themselves. But I'm just saying, guys do. So again, so what is this? John says, do y'all know how to create flags? Meaning red flags, like well, I mean, I guess tonight's show is all about red flags, meaning things that you should be looking out for when you kind of meet someone or are looking to go out on a date with someone. Man, T, the red flags that you talked about the other day or whatever, golly, like is this another one right here? I feel like she's gonna talk with a British accent, so I'm scared.
I want to share that story on her, but I'm afraid that he might be listening.
Today, I'm going to tell you the different types of fuckboys to look out for and how to spot them. I made the series about a year ago and it went kind of viral, and I have since privated the videos because I got embarrassed and I just wanted to do it better. So here we go. There are 4 main types of fuckboys to look out for. But first, I want to educate y'all because I think you get confused about the definition of a fuckboy. A lot of people think a fuckboy is just someone who sleeps around with a lot of girls, but I'm not here to slut shame. You can sleep with as many girls as you want. Someone a fuckboy. The problem comes in when you're using manipulation or lying tactics in order to get a girl to sleep with you. And I'm not even here to hate on fuckboys either. Fuckboys can be fun in the right circumstances. But I do want to give girls the tools and knowledge to know how to spot a fuckboy and how to deal with them if you find yourself in a situation with one. So the first type of fuckboy is the narcissist or the pretty boy. This is the easiest type of fuckboy to spot because they usually walk, act, and talk like a fuckboy. They're very image obsessed, and this goes beyond just their physical appearance. It's also very important to them how they are perceived by their friends and the general public.
Smallest
They're generally very superficial. They probably got with you originally because of your looks. They're very inconsistent, usually only hit you up for like a hookup or if they, have their boys out at a table at the club. And as soon as it doesn't look good on them to be with you anymore, they'll drop you. The second type of fuckboy I like to call the bitch boy. This is someone who performs all the duties that a normal boyfriend would and expects you to perform girlfriend duties. He'll text you good morning, good night, wants to meet his family, might even bring up kids several times. But when it comes down to it, he can't commit. This is my personal favorite type of fuckboy because they not only want the physical benefits of having a girlfriend, they also need the emotional support. And then when time has gone on and you eventually have to be the girl that's like, well, so what are we? They'll give you a ton of excuses and not actually commit. The third type of fuckboy is the actual fuckboy. This type of fuckboy is the most frustrating because they are in it purely for the power play. It goes beyond just sex and attention for them. They truly, genuinely enjoy the chase and the aspect of control. This is usually characterized by a very quick start. They might say things like, "Oh, I've never felt this way about someone so quickly before," or take you out on extravagant dates. All sorts of things that probably seem too good to be true, and that's because they are. After a few minutes talking, they will find some reason to end the relationship, and they're always going to make it your fault. And then there is a fourth and final type, which is the unaware fuckboy. This is someone who doesn't even realize that they're a fuckboy. They genuinely deep down believe that they're a good person or a nice guy, but they'll end up using the same tactics as all of you. They'll be dismissive of your opinions and gaslight you, etc. In my next video, I'm going over all the red flags of these and how they relate to each one. Hi, friends.
Wow. You know,
she brought the fuckboys down.
Man, and that's too much. Like, dudes to sit there and do all of that. Like, I'm gonna strategically break up with you in 3 months. You know what I mean? Like,
it's guys out there. You know what? Whoa, wait a minute! I just
I'm out there like that.
There was a post that I did post about women who plot to break up relationships. It's in there too. You might scroll back a little bit.
Is it? Did we already pass it?
I posted it maybe like after last week's episode.
Was it a TikTok or was it?
No, it's not a TikTok.
Verbiage?
I don't.
Okay, I think I know which one you're talking about. It's this one.
Yeah.
Right here. Right.
Yep.
Is this it? So let's talk about this. How to steal someone's boyfriend. So this is what now? What do we
how to steal a boyfriend? She plotted on how to. She's giving step-by-step instructions on how to get in there and steal a boyfriend.
Okay, so I think okay, so when John says, do y'all know how to create red flags? I guess what he's saying is, you know, I guess in a sense how to spot them or create a situation to give a guy the way you got to answer. So here's one: if a man asks you for a date, say, "I want you to meet my father, brother, or uncle first," and see how they respond.
Why would I want somebody, a stranger, to meet my daddy?
No, but just
maybe don't introduce them. Just say it to see how they react.
Just to see what they say, huh?
You know what I mean? Yeah, because you know, I mean, I told my daughter because I recently just met my daughter's boyfriend, like for the first time. It's a very interesting situation.
Dating?
Yes, she's dating.
Wow.
You know, they only see each other at work and whatnot. They haven't, they're 15, puppy love, right? So but I mean, I told her, after texting her the stuff about the 40 caliber and telling your boyfriend about it, and then the boyfriend said, what color is it? I said, it's all black, the same color you'll see if you ever mess with my daughter wrong. So after all of that, and met him and all this, that, and the other, then it was interesting. And I pulled her to the side. I said, he seems like a good dude. I said, but listen, I always make sure that whenever you meet a guy, if he shows interest in you or what have you, then let him know, you got a daddy. And I tell you what, let him know that your daddy's a little off his rocker, so he better be on his shit. And she said, okay. So, that was kind of, and so I get that with what he's saying, because again, which take real quick, I'm gonna come back to this, but this goes back to really the post that I said was a little serious. This one right here. And we can listen to this if y'all want, but this one right here. This one right here.
Like being a young lady and not having a father, not having big brothers, not having like nobody that's going to step in and defend you, and being out here in the world. When men find out that they don't have to answer to a man about how they handled you, be prepared for a motherfucker to do anything to you.
Yeah.
Brace yourself. Brace your fucking self. There are things that happen to women exclusively to women that men know they don't have to deal with a man about her. Like being a young lady.
Yeah, so you know, my cousin actually moved from Cali to Columbus, Ohio, and she, you know, dating a guy, and that's close here. So she asked me to come up strictly for the reasoning of saying she wanted the dude that she's with to know that there's dudes around, you know, me.
Right.
You know what I mean? So that any bullshit, you're gonna have to answer to him.
You know what? That reminds me of a situation. My daughter, she's not dating yet, but there was a situation at school where a little boy put his hands on her inappropriately. And she came home and she was telling me about it. And my son overheard, and he comes in and he goes, "Do he live in the neighborhood?" And she said, "Yeah." He said, "Well, what house he live in?" My son comes back. Now, my daughter, she was in the third grade. This is last school year. My son is 14 years old at the time. He comes back, he's got this sock stuffed with rocks and Legos, and he was like, he's getting a coma today. I'm like, you cannot go beating up third graders. But I love that
5 characteristics
at the end
of
of the
red
day, if
flag behavior
down,
in
her
relationships.
brothers are gonna handle that for her.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly. And that's important, you know, because again, I don't know who gets it confused, but I can't create life. I have no possible ability to create life. But guess what?
You can
Women
protect
can't.
it.
If you don't find something so special and important about that as to the reason why you should be focusing on protecting that young soldier, then I can't even help you, because that right there is a common sense type of thing that, you know, is there, and you shouldn't even have to worry about it. You know, that's not a think twice type thing. Like, you should know that the ladies around us, our family, our loved ones, you know, even if you walking down the street and see a dude beating up on a woman, you know, these are things that you don't allow certain things to happen. So I just find that crazy though when I think about your son, because I'm like, damn, I remember this nigga was like this big.
Yeah, I mean, and he came when Derek came in, he was like, "D, blah 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 blah," and that was like, and Derek was like, "What?" He was like, "We about to go find him." So they were about to go jump this little boy, and I'd have stopped them like, "Whoa, wait a minute! She's in the third grade. Y'all in high school. Y'all can't be jumping people. Let me handle it." But at least I know, like, when she gets older, of dating age, some shit go left. They were raised right and understand what they need to do.
Absolutely, absolutely. So I tell you what, I wanna you know, if we can, if y'all don't mind, can we go ahead and get to celebrity news? Because we got brother Diego back there, and he's waiting on us. So I want to go ahead and get to celebrity news, so we can go ahead and bring him on. Hey, it's all good. That's perfect, because we're already at 9:50. So
you don't have no celebrity news today?
I said I don't have a whole lot, but I know what we can talk about.
Go ahead.
We're gonna talk about our cousin, well, our ex-cousin, because we done kicked him out the family.
Cousin Kanye.
Cousin Kanye. He made his cousin.
I know.
Hey, I mean, y'all. Hey, as far as I'm concerned, y'all gotta bring him back, because after listening to that interview on Drink Champs, oh man, he explained.
We're not bringing him back.
Oh man. You know,
but you know what? Here's the thing. You know, we did that show about narcissism, and one thing that we know about a narcissist, I don't know if he's a genius or a narcissist, but you know, a narcissist, they always can explain away what they've done. So I don't know, but I listened to some of Drink Champs. I didn't get to listen to the whole thing, but it was crazy. You know, I was over at Candace Owens' house, and I watched the documentary on George Floyd, and he died from fentanyl in the system. You can't do that, cousin Kanye. You can't do that. You just
his mama, George Floyd mama, suing Kanye now.
They're suing him now. So it's created a whole shit show. He was over on the Chris Cuomo show. I'm happy that Chris Cuomo is back on my TV. I know I got a thing for Chris Cuomo. He should have never been fired from CNN, but he's back on our TV, and he did a whole interview with Kanye, and I watched some of it, and he pretty much let Kanye do Kanye for the whole hour. and he's the only one who challenged him. So that was pretty crazy. But he did go and he went on Piers Morgan. It was yesterday or today, and he's issued an apology. So he's apologizing for all the shenanigans. But I did think that it was pretty crazy that he's trying to buy the Parler. And so now he's trying to buy Parler, the same social network site that the January 6th resurrection was organized on. So he's trying to buy.
Well, you know, Kanye does Kanye, I believe, for publicity.
Get out of the way real with you. Freedom of speech is important because when they did all that shit to Trump, when they kicked him off of Twitter and off of Facebook, that's why we're going to Facebook jail. Or did you guys notice that, like, after all that happened, now you're going to Facebook jail for like every little thing because they have to now because they kicked the president off of the social media site. Kanye is now saying that President Trump is racist. Well, I mean, we've been knowing that. So
but you know, here's my thing. You know, if Republicans racist and Democrats racist, you know what? You got to decide which racist plantation you want to be on. You want to be on a racist plantation that continues to shackle you, or you want to be on a racist plantation that actually gives you some freedom and lets you roam around. You got to figure out which one you want to be on.
Well, we're going to keep it all the way above.
That's a double-edged sword
on that. When he ran for president, I was going to run Kanye my vote. I ain't even going to lie. I was going to run him my vote.
Yeah. Well, he says he's running for 2024.
Well, the thing is, when you're in a position of power, such as Trump, you really do have to be careful with your words and the things that you're saying. So, yeah, we're in America, freedom of speech. But look what his hold on, let me finish. Look what his freedom of speech did. It incited a whole riot. You know what I'm saying? It incited a riot. So that's part of why he got kicked off of Twitter. When you're sitting there spewing, you're in a powerful position. You're the CEO of the United States. You got to watch what you tweet. You got to watch what you say, because millions of people are listening to you. And look what happened at fucking Capitol Hill or whatever, like Supreme Court or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Inside the fucking riot to the fucking government of the United States. So fuck Trump. He was a great businessman. He was a great businessman. We was getting all them goddamn stimulus and shit. He's a great businessman. He did run a country in a great business sense, but the things that he was doing was not things that a president should do. Because I promise you, had President Obama been saying and doing some of the same stuff, he would have definitely they would have voted him out. He would have been out before it was his little 8-year child. The first 2 years, he would have been out. President Obama cannot have done half the stuff that Trump did or said.
Yeah, and President Obama gave plenty of money to the Jews. Black people ain't getting none.
Well, that's fine if he did. I mean, shit, he could have gave us shit because everybody was watching him, thinking that's what he was gonna do any fucking way. He couldn't do shit for us.
He can't.
What if he tried to do? If he would have tried to do something for us, all motherfuckers would have been pissed.
They can't just like do shit. They got a whole Senate and Congress to answer to. So they can't just do
what I'm saying is, had he did something for black people, specifically for black people and targeted black people, how many motherfuckers would have been after his ass? How many people would have flamed him on internet, on social media for doing something for black people, specifically because he was black?
Well, just remember, I think, again, it goes back to just deciding which plantation you won't be on. I like the plantation that gives me the freedom to make the business moves that I want to make. You know what I mean? And
as soon as you do something wrong, you still gonna get beaten, and salt is still gonna be thrown on them wounds. Don't matter what side you on.
On both sides.
Yes.
I mean,
you will get your wake up call.
That's a mentality thing. That's a mentality.
You will get your wake up call. I mean, to decide on what side of the plantation you want to roam on both, either way of on the plantation. If we're on a plantation, either way if we're in a plantation, don't matter. So either way, either side, you mess up, you definitely gonna get a wake up call.
They gonna tell you still nigga.
Yeah.
Listen.
Yeah.
That doesn't happen in my circle.
I was trying not to say that, but yep.
Any more celebrity news?
I said it so you didn't have to. And other celebrity news, moving right along, Ray J and Princess. Princess has admitted that she sometimes participated in threesomes to keep Ray J happy, and now
I'm sure she did. I'm sure she did.
I'm sure she did. You know what? I feel like that's inviting trouble into your marriage when you start doing stuff like that to keep it spicy. Like if you got to resort to a threesome to keep it spicy, it's time to just go ahead and walk away, because now, so now there's lines there that have been crossed, and now like, okay, well, we already did this with this person, so it's okay to do this, and that's how shit goes left. So now they're getting a divorce for good now. What else do we got?
Unless that's what you were already into, or that's something that y'all talked about early on, and something that both of y'all like. And when you're doing something like that, and if you're doing something like that, you definitely got to have rules. And anyway, it's got to be boundaries.
All right,
you definitely got to be boundaries.
You gotta have a safe word, pineapples.
The safe word.
Period. Pineapples.
Ooh.
Go ahead. What's our next celebrity news?
Our next celebrity news? Shit, I done forgot. I'm
sorry.
That safe word just fucked
me up. He brought back pineapples. Yes, pineapples.
That safe word fucks me up. It's been a slow week in celebrity news. Well, it ain't been a slow week. I haven't been keeping
It's just
up
been a
like
Kanye week.
Because my heart and my soul was with BravoCon up in New York. I wish that I was there. Nobody would go with me. So I've been keeping up with all of that. So I haven't really kept up with celebrity news this week.
Well, The Walking Dead is back on. Yay. The last season.
Love is
I'm
Blind
so
is
sad.
back, season 3.
We're going to go ahead and go to commercial real
I'm a
quick.
deadhead.
And then we got Brother Diego. Remember, Diego's got that cliffhanger that he left us
I'm
with.
excited.
Which
I remember.
Why do super successful, we're talking $500K or better a year, men choose not to date African American?
I'm
women,
ready.
Right?
Ready.
So we're going to get to that here in just a minute. We're going to bring my brother on. And I called him, what did I call him? I said, Mr. Diego, Mr. Make Sense. You know what I mean? That's his name now. It's his new name. Mr. Make Sense himself is going to be with us right after commercials. All right, don't go nowhere. We'll be right back, y'all.
Hey folks, check out healthdaddywow.net. 100% plant-based herbs and supplements. Whether you're in person or online, use the word tipping for 10% off. Remember, feel better, look great, healthdaddywow.net. Remember, healthdaddywow.net.
Habibi Trading Company, home of soap, sticks, and Saya Baba products. Over 400 locations at a store near you. Cincinnati, Ohio, Louisville and Lexington, Kentucky, Southern Indiana, or find yours online at sayababa.com. Again, that's sayababa.com. Habibi Trading Company, where you can find fragrances to incite your senses.
我说他是全网最大，你们有没有反对的？哎呦我去，哎呦我去，尴尬尴尬。吓尿了。来上一口，开播了啊！怎么都是水？
No panties after dark. Your adult relationship conversation congregation. Going where most ones. Speaking on things most don't. It's no panties after dark. We put the relations back into relationships.
All right, y'all, we're back again. It is No Panties After Dark. And next up to the stage, we have a brother who we brought on last week, along with brother Relationship Gumbo, who, again, that was just a fantastic show. And we had this brother on as well. He is a brother who has a particular viewpoint that not many brothers have. Right, because he's among a lot of very financially successful elite people. He's got a software company himself, so you get perspectives from him that not many brothers have, and he's open to speak openly about it. So that's what's cool about it. So we're gonna welcome brother Diego Denson, Mr. Make Sense himself, to the stage. Welcome, brother. We appreciate you coming back.
Hey.
Hello, ladies.
Welcome back.
Thank you for welcoming me back. Let me know, Joe, if you can hear me, man. Is my microphone up high enough on this setup?
Absolutely. You sound good. Bro.
Thank you.
All right. Good. So, I don't know if we, if we start with the cliffhanger from last week or not, but our show this week is all about red flags.
Okay.
What do we call it, T? We said,
do you take
the ball and go, or do you stay and play? Right. So that was a dope title. That's why I love brainstorming with these ladies, because they even when we come up with something, we'll take it, tweak it, and make it better. So
Absolutely.
Do you take the ball and go, or do you stay and play? So that's as a matter of fact, let me be on my
you see my little meme I
here.
posted with that?
My little
when you thought you could change you.
There we go.
That's an interesting question.
Red flags. Take your ball and go, or stay and play. Good stuff. I think I even oh yeah. All right, it was last week. All right, so when you think about this, do you take your ball and go, or do you stay and play? All right. What's the first thing that comes to your mind, brother Diego Denson? It's all about red flags this week.
It's very interesting you guys are talking about this, right? I listened a little bit, and I came in. There was some lady with a great video talking about F boys, and I couldn't stop laughing. So it was very interesting. It almost like,
you can say fuck boys if you want.
But it just sounded like everybody that didn't commit to her or date her or didn't marry her, she called them an F boy. I found that interesting. So it was funny to me. I really had a great time. It was very entertaining. So the other thing I was going to say was this: should you take the ball and run?
Or stay and play.
Stay and play.
When red flags pop up.
So to me, the interesting thing is that I think one of the young ladies kind of talked about everybody kind of has broken pieces about them, right? So to me, it's like, if you're gonna stay and play, I guess it depends on what flags can be going from red and perhaps moving over to purple a little bit. I don't know, because can sometimes green flags, like I posted in the chat today, can sometimes green flags be turned into red flags? Mm-hmm. So to me, when I think about red flags, of course, it depends. Some red flags have a higher severity level. It's like football. Roughing the passer goes further as a penalty than it does of pass interference. So it just all depends. In my opinion, I tend to, try to look at red flags and engage the person and start taking precautions on it. Like, it just depends. If you're a man or a woman that's looking to find someone to marry, of course, you're probably going to be critical about every red flag you see. If you're a person that's casually dating, perhaps you don't look at as many, unless some of them are just blaring, like a stop sign or something like that, right? So I personally feel like it just all depends on what you're looking for, like what's each other's intentions. If I'm trying to get somebody and get into a long-term relationship with serious commitment, I want to try to eliminate as many red flags as possible, personally.
Absolutely. So T, as you speak about it, as we talk about it, red flags. man.
That story I told you the other day.
Listen. We not see. I wasn't even gonna say it that way. I was gonna say it different to try to help you out, right? So, tell us some red flags that you've heard from guys. You know, whether it's recent or not.
All right, so big red flag to me. You start talking about exes right away. So I'll go ahead and you know what? I'm never gonna go out with this guy. I'll go ahead and share the story. I'm engaging in a phone call, you know, a pre-date screen, you know, decide if I'm gonna, you know, invest some time. So we're having a phone conversation, and immediately he starts telling me about his ex, and he tells me that she's crazy. So that in my mind, ding, 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 because I know that you're only gonna give me part of the story that she's crazy. And he's speaking of an altercation that they had, and the police were called, and I'm sitting here like, another red flag. Just okay. He said, but when the police got there, they remembered that I called on her before. I'm sitting here like, wow. So then he goes into this altercation where she hit him with.
But hold on. I'm just sitting here thinking about this, and I'm like, first off, okay, why are you still with her? That's a red flag. You know,
we know why he with her. We know why he with her.
Man, some internal emotional issue that he's got going on.
No, that ain't that.
You know, yeah, he it's the pootie tang. Yeah, yes. We know that. But that still leads to internal issues that he's got, right?
That tells me that you like drama. You like drama, you like discord.
Yeah. So even if it's subconscious, he likes drama.
I don't come with that. I don't come with crazy. I don't do any of those things. So I'm like, off the cuff, we're not compatible. So then he's telling me about some other girl that he had messed with before, and her house is dirty. So her house was dirty, and you still knocked her down anyway. Yeah, SpongeBob, see myself on out. So my thing is this, like,
but look, didn't he say something like, you know, he said he could, but then that was right before. Okay, never mind.
Yeah, I mean that's more, but it just was like this was a pre-date screen. I'm very doubtful. Less than 1% chance you're actually gonna get a date at this point, because you know, with me personally, I feel like I wasted a lot of time in a relationship that, you know, didn't pan out. So I'm getting older. Shit.
Yeah, 25, 26.
I don't got time for the bullshit. I don't got time for the bullshit. You got to come correct. So I'm in this point in my life where I'm not selling myself short. So I'm like, I want this, and this, and I feel like I deserve those things. And I'm not, you know, when you say I don't require a lot, that sets you up to accept bare minimum. And I'm just in a point in my life where I'm not accepting bare minimum. So I'm just sitting here looking at these flags like, okay, you like crazy bitches. You don't care if a bitch is dirty. You just have no standards. And I'm just sitting here like
that makes you be like, well, what am I? You know what I mean? Exactly. Where am I on your list? You know what I mean? Like, so, hey, and I'm gonna let y'all dudes know that look, if y'all, you know, like talk to her, trying to date, whatever, she gonna come to her closest friends and you know, ask questions like, to get some understanding and this, that, and the other. So if she know, I know.
As you know, as I'm navigating, you know what I'm saying, my singleness, and I'm out here and I'm dating, and you know what I'm saying, that was one thing. Like when I got back out here, I did not expect, like, you know, to be so many men out here ready to go out. And I'm sitting here like, y'all come with all these issues, and I need to send you back to your mama's house so she can finish raising you. Cause those are red flags. Like if you're not grown and you don't know how to take care of business, that's a red flag.
What is business? What is business?
Okay, so it's cold outside. We gotta hide our house. My house is in the shop.
I saw that post.
My house is in the shop.
It's funny.
So it's cold outside. So you don't have no, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm 39. So I'm gonna be dating guys, you know what I'm saying, my age or older. If you're my age and older and you don't have nowhere to live, that's a red flag. That's definitely a red flag.
I mean, what you mean nowhere to live? Like what?
You don't have nowhere to live.
What's going on?
You don't have nowhere to live. You don't have an address. I can't come visit you. I can't pull up on you. You can pull up on me. I own my home, but I can't pull up. You know, you don't have to be a homeowner. You can be a renter, but you have to have somewhere to live. So that tells me that you don't handle business. You feel what I'm saying? So you got to be able to handle business. I don't want to hear you talking crazy about your ex, your baby mama, because I know that you're only giving half of the story. You're not telling, like, what did you do to make her be crazy? She wasn't crazy all by herself. Sometimes people are crazy all by themselves, but what did you contribute to that? So, you know, that tells me lack of accountability. My house is in the shop right now.
When I saw this, I started busting out laughing because
it's
I just
cold
thought
outside,
that was hilarious.
Joe.
It's cold outside, and this is cuffing season. You know what I mean? It's cold outside. This is when we want to get together, cuddle up, and warm up and whatnot.
You can't move. You can't move in over here with me, sugar.
Man,
you can't move in over here. So yeah, those are definitely some red flags. But like my favorite question, like when I'm getting to know someone, I ask them like, so hey, tell me, what is your relationship like with your children? Because mostly everybody my age and up, they have children. Mostly everybody. It's very rare that you run into someone, you know, late 30s, early 40s that doesn't have children. So what's your relationship like with your children? If you're 50 Cent and you don't have a relationship with your children, and your baby mama's bitter, that's a red flag for me.
I mean, 50 Cent can kind of afford to not have a relationship for real. I mean, this is, you know, I mean.
Yeah, and you know, and he kind of elaborated on that. He was like, if Marquise really wanted to have a conversation, he would have called me and not
exactly. And that's true. Like that's the true. Dumbest, like this. I don't know who's setting that up. If it's 50 setting that up, or if it's his son setting that up. But somebody is out here just trying to stay relevant. Somebody. That's some celebrity bullshit right there.
It's a bad deal.
But I mean, to me, that's just crazy. You know, that's crazy. If you know, that's craziness. I don't come with a whole lot of drama. I don't bring a whole lot of that. It just, I can't. So I don't want you giving that to me. Another red flag, like what we were talking about earlier, you always hear men saying, I want someone to be my peace. So are you telling me that you don't have peace within yourself? Mm-hmm. Are you telling me that you have a lot of chaos within yourself? You're incomplete. You're going to come over here and disrupt everything that I've worked hard to build within myself.
I don't think that's what they mean.
Flag. I'm sorry?
I don't think that's what they mean when they say that.
Well, you know, you got to
elaborate. I don't either.
So my thing is this. I don't want to be your peace. Have peace within yourself, and I will not disrupt that. I will add to that.
They mean side piece. You know, that's what they mean, side piece. No, I'm just being funny. Hey, Diego, elaborate on that when you say that you don't think that that's what they mean. And I don't either. We watched this TikTok video that I think dude like went off the rails, honestly.
Yeah, he did.
When he, you know, went on that. But go ahead, D.
I believe that when a man says that, and I believe honestly, most women understand what a man means when he says that. But I can understand how one woman may not understand, or different women might get a different thing. But I think a man typically is saying, like, if he's a busy person, or if he's out there doing a lot of things that is very chaotic, like, you know, busyness, going from, maybe he's working multiple jobs, maybe he works very hard and he has long days and stuff like that. I think he's saying when he comes home, he's wanting some wonderful peace and solace from his lady. Like, he's hoping that, you know, he doesn't come home and she's gonna say, you know, why'd you come home so late and blah, 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 blah. Like, instead of, you know, meeting him with a little bit of, you know, maybe she had a rough day herself, they both come together because they look for solace and peace in each other. Like, oh, I'm glad I'm here. I can cozy up to you. You help me take my mind off the rough day. I got some nice, wonderful softness. Maybe we watch a nice, quiet movie together, or maybe there's something you might do, like later I rub your back, or maybe you rub my temples or something. I think men are talking like that when they mean my peace. They're saying not come home to someone that meets them at the door with arguments. And men and women both do this. So people pretend like that doesn't happen. And I've experienced it both ways. I've met people while walking the door, they're like, oh, I'm glad you're here. I know you love tea. I'm gonna make you some tea real quick, babe. And I met some women that when you walk in the door, and women probably experience this with men, like right away. You didn't see my text? Like, as soon as you walk in the door, you could have had the worst day ever at your job, or it made it have a bad business deal. So I think they're talking about meeting that person and they want to come home to that solace. Like, I'm glad I can sit down and relax with you. I mean, I feel like you're 39 years old. I think that you experienced somebody probably greeting you with niceness. Some people done greeted you chaotically before.
Right, but that's what I'm saying. Most of the people that say "be my peace," they're the ones that are greeting me with the chaos.
Yeah, and I mean, but I feel like, you know, like, to Diego's point, you know, a man, especially a melanated man, goes out into the world and has to deal with a lot of things. Like, and I heard someone say this recently. I think it was Queen Aziza Muhammad. He goes out into the world. He doesn't have authority on his job, right? And then if he can't come home and have some type of, you know, peace and authority there, then what does he have? You know what I mean? In this world. So when you say peace, then what I gather from that is the same as Diego. You know, allow me to come home and fall into your recharging fountain of amazingness, right? You know what I mean? So, like, for instance, I give you, you know, since I work from home, then, you know, my lady, when she comes home, you know, I got some nice music playing. I'll have incense burning, candles, you know, a candle burning, so the house is smelling good, and, you know, whatever. And usually, you know, like today, you know, I did some stew and vegetable stew and all of that, and had it sitting and waiting, and it was already ready. I'm back out in my office working and whatnot, and you know, she's like, "Yo, do we need anything from the store?" I'm like, "Nah, baby, I got it covered. Dinner's already ready." You know what I mean? And so she gets to come home and chill. You know what I mean? Because I know that's what she wants to do when she comes home. She really don't want to stop by the store.
And that's the difference.
You know, that's peace.
You have the peace within yourself, and she does not disrupt that. She adds to it, correct?
Exactly.
That's what I'm saying. What I'm saying is most men, when they say "be my peace," the ones that I've encountered, they are coming with chaos and disruption and all kinds of other bullshit. I'm saying be that within yourself, and then when you come to me, I'm going to add to it. I'm not going to disrupt it. But I can't.
I see what she's saying.
I can't be your calming force.
Yeah. I see what she's saying, but I'm gonna also lean with you two again, Joe, both ways, because I'm assuming, Joe, you gave your story because you have been met with non-peace before.
Absolutely.
So that's why you're giving your story.
I know Joe's story. He's been met with non-peace before.
So that's what he's saying. And I'm saying myself as a man, I've definitely had both sides. I've had, you can believe how peaceful this one woman was. I'm like, wow. Then you meet another one that you're like, wow, it's like night and day, like right away. It's like, you're not.
Look at what Trey Jackson said right here. Not more of peace, more of like being comfortable with the woman and being able to let his guard down and relax. Like, if there's one place that I should be able to let my guard down and relax, it should be home with my lady. You know what I mean?
Agreed.
And that is absolute. That's just, I'm telling you.
I think a lot of couples don't have that. I think it goes both ways, men or women. I think people don't have a lot of. They can't come on, like the guy Trey said. He want to come on to some solace. He's like, out there was what that was. I'm home. I want some solace and peace. You know what I'm saying? It don't have to be like your lady got to be your best friend. That's even better. But I'm saying people want that solace, and they want to be comfortable, let their guard down. They've been out there, you know, like a wrecking ball all day. So to me, I've seen it both ways. I've definitely had some wonderful women, but you know, you could tell that maybe they stepped on put a rock in their shoe before they walk in my house or something. I don't know. Some of them have an attitude right away, and then some of them were, you know, extremely gentle when you walk in. And you're like, man, you know, it's just
absolutely. And speaking of attitude, I want to get to this cliffhanger from last week. You know, we definitely Rocky Alexander says, "Don't nag me, woman." Absolutely. But I definitely want to get to that cliffhanger.
Sure.
But in reference to, you know, what we're talking about, you know, definitely, I think a good book that every couple should read. Matter of fact, I'm gonna go order a couple more copies because I've ordered several copies of these and I've given them out when I was dating in the past and been like, hey, you need to read this. And but John Gray's book, Men Are From Mars and Women Are From Venus.
Not the John Gray that keeps cheating on his wife.
No, the white guy John Gray, the European John Gray, not the pastor John Gray that is getting caught up with his mistress and shit like that.
Ooh,
not that John Gray.
They was praying, man. They was praying.
He laid hands. He was just laying hands.
She had to kneel to get that blessing.
Exactly.
Did she get blessed though? Did she get blessed?
Yeah, exactly. That's what the oil was for. So with that in mind, definitely that's a good book. Y'all need to look that up. It's by an author named John Gray, white guy John Gray. And it is not that John Gray, but it's called Women Are From Venus and Men Are From Mars. It talks about things like, for instance, when women come home, typically when they're talking about their day, especially if they're venting, they're not looking for a solution, whereas men are naturally solution driven, right? So our natural reaction to a problem is to offer up solution. Yet in a situation like that, after work, a woman is just looking for someone that will listen, as opposed to someone that's going to give solution. Just the same when you talk about a man coming home from work, giving him some time to decompress. Before you hit him with the my day was this, my day was that. Ooh, and this girl did this and this girl did. You know what I mean? Before you hit him with all of that, giving him time to decompress.
At least let me run you a shower and get you a beer before I hit you with all that. I got you.
Oh man.
You know what? And I'm gonna take her side. There are some men that come in the house like that. There's some men that do women like that.
Yeah.
I've seen some dudes like that. I've seen a couple of men. Well, I thought it was the woman over there yelling. I walk over, it's the dude. You're like, man, I've seen men like that too, though.
Right, like at least let me, me personally, I'm one of them type people, like when work is over, I have to have a shower and wash the day off. Like that's my way of relaxation. Yeah. So when
it's them dudes that be asking your lady, her phone notification go off saying that, that Macy's got a sale going on. He like, that's where you been? That's why it took you so long to get home. It was a Macy's notification. He think it was somebody texting.
Exactly. Like, just jump into conclusions. Like, did you stretch before you jumped?
Yeah.
You gonna pull them up.
And that's exactly.
He take a shower. He like, why you taking a shower?
Right.
Yeah, you just got home. Why you taking a shower?
I have to. It's my relaxation. Like, let me shower, wash the day off, and then we can talk.
You got guys like that too. Yeah, I've seen them.
Exactly, and those are insecurities. We're literally talking about insecurities.
Someone might be watching your show right now, Joe. I ain't gonna attack nobody.
And you know what? And those insecurities, that's I can't say that's a red flag, but it's definitely a turn off.
That should be a red flag.
That's definitely a turn off because I need you to be secure within yourself, because why would I deal with you if you're not secure?
She didn't say it. I'm gonna say it, guys. I think that should be a red flag. Sorry.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I don't do it. I can't deal with it.
Rocky's. She said you ain't showered in 3 days. Why are you taking a shower now?
You know them dudes. Yeah, it's dudes like that. Them dudes
because it's been 3 days.
You know what?
First off, why you got a girl who ain't showered in 3 days?
It was a young lady that worked with me at the job a couple of years back, and she said she only showered every other day.
Yeah.
I was like, that's disgusting.
That's the same girl that posts the panties that said, look at how clean my panties are at the end of the day. And ladies was like, what? No, that's not even natural. You got a problem you need to fix. You know what I mean?
You know what? One of my friends told me that I might have OCD and that my showers might be a ritual, and they might be right. I might have just the OCD and I might be ritualistic, but I take 2 showers a day.
Everyone go. I mean, 2 showers a day to me kind of sounds normal. Like,
let me jump in here. I thought I was the only man that thought that meant something, because that right there, and I'm probably gonna lose a couple of ladies that are already getting tired of looking at me right now. But when I meet women that their hygiene, because you were talking about red flags, that hygiene thing is heavy for me. And I met women who do that. They'll take showers, baths, or whatever multiple times a day. I'm one of those type guys. Joe, y'all done been on my crib. I got the fragrances everywhere. You know what I'm saying? I'm the Kevin Samuels before Kevin Samuels. I got all that stuff, the scents, everything. Your man John, John hooked me up with the incense. My incense, man, my house it's always like I'm one of them type dudes that like to shower all the time. I like women that really put time into their hygiene.
Yeah,
because
absolutely,
because it's such a beautiful thing when you meet a woman like that. And then let's say y'all don't work out, then you meet a woman who don't. You like, wow, that's amazing. Like, you know, and a lot of times you never can tell because there's women out here that are drop dead gorgeous.
Yeah, hygiene is important
until you go over their house and you're like, oh wow. So in the same thing, like women could say the same thing. There's some guy they saw, and, you know, he looking okay, and then you go over there, he got some rough breath. You know what I'm saying? So I think hygiene is like should be I think hygiene
is one of the most important things.
It's a red flag for me.
It's on the top of the list.
Hygiene, that's pretty high on my list. But somebody told me I might have OCD. My best friend was like, "Good Lord, you gonna dry your skin out with all those showers?" But showering, like, it's relaxation for me. Like, I have to have a shower after work. I have to have a shower before I hit my sheets. I cannot get in my bed and I've not had a shower for the day. I don't allow outside clothes on my bed. Like, you can't sit up. You cannot come in from the street and sit down on my bed and you have on outside clothes. Like,
I got a question.
Yes.
I have a question for the ladies because this happened to me a couple times. Like I said, Joe's done been over this house over here, and I'm saying I'm one of those type guys. I'm real big on hygiene. I mean, I took a shower again before the show, went and got my little Creed sprayed on me to prepare for the show. Nobody's here. But what I'm gonna say is it's mind blowing to me. I meet people that their hygiene is not big, but I've noticed occasionally when women come over my place, the ones I've dated, they came over. Their first thing they'll say is, "Your house too neat. You got a woman." They'll automatically assume that no matter where I've lived, I'm very big into hygiene and neatness. Could have been because I was in the military or something like that. I don't know what it is, but that's real high. That's a red flag for me.
Creed, that's a good pickup. Yeah. I just put on some perfume before I came out too. I just picked up perfumes DeMarley, the Oriana. It's amazing.
Oh,
so
for sure.
yeah, I'm big into perfume. It do not go in my bathroom. It's probably like about 50 bottles in there, and they're all expensive, and I don't care. That's my vice. Some people buy tennis shoes, some people smoke weed. I buy perfume. That's me.
I mean,
right.
It trips me out when you see, like, I've been over some guy's house and I'm looking around and I'm like, nigga, I see why you single.
Man.
Nigga, you got hair
on the floor.
You got your hair from clipping this morning, like all on your toilet and whatnot. Like this, like I've seen that, and I'm like, dude, how do you get any women whatsoever? I should stand outside your house and hold up picket signs for every woman that walks through your door. Like this is the damn abortion clinic, because for reals, it's ridiculous how, and that's where we start talking about standards and saying, hey, you got to change the bait because stop accepting this nonsense, you know. And when to Diego's point, you know, we're you know, that's why we get along so well, because we're very similar. You know, when I first was starting to live out on my own when I was younger, I went and commissioned my lady friends to go with me to Bed Bath & Beyond and Pier 1 and all the other places that I was shopping at for stuff for my crib. And I would literally, I would have, you know, I pick up the cup, the glasses, and be like, all right, does this make your panties want to drop? No? Okay. All right. We're going to go to the next one. Does this make you, you know, because at that time in my young mind, my thought was I wanted to make my place comfortable to where women would come over and enjoy themselves. Absolutely. I wasn't trying to cater to dudes. You know what I mean? Fuck dudes. I wanted to cater to women. So I had black plates that had Chinese emblems and stuff on it. I had glasses that curved to the left just a little bit at the top. You know what I mean? I was trying to speak without speaking when it came to my place. So I took women with me. And so Diego, I know we've talked about it before. You know, you had a woman come and design and
oh yeah,
and, you know, all that type of stuff.
Every piece of property I have designers. I have one young lady. She's amazing. And I mean, she designed. I flew her in from California here. She did this house. She did the other condo that I have over in here in the East End as well. So like every time, I'm real big on it. I like my place, and you know, I'm real big on that. So and it's, hey, watch out for them dudes out there that just Febreze they sheets. That's all they out there doing.
That's disgusting. And then you want me to come over and stay the night on them nasty crusty ass sheets? Like, that's gross. But it was a gentleman that I was kicking it with. We were hanging out. His house normally was clean, and it was one night. Normally, we kicking it, we hang out, and then I'll go home. Ooh. And he's like, "Well, why do you always leave? You can stay tonight." And so he was like, "Stay tonight. I gotta work in the morning, but just let yourself out." So the next morning, when I got up, I and cut the lights on, like, this room is dirty, and it's never dirty. Like he had dirty clothes everywhere. I cleaned up his house. Moved his laundry, padded up, washed his dishes, cleaned up his house, and he texted and was like, "Make sure you lock the door up when you leave." And I was like, "I've already left, and I cleaned your apartment before I left." I know he was like, "Did she really clean?" I did. I couldn't take it.
Yeah, it's that's kind of sad. Any red flag thoughts that you have, Gigi? Any experiences of red flags or anything like that?
No, I'm with y'all on the cleanliness and the hygienic. Bad breath. Like, bad breath is definitely a turn off for me. I barely can get past the conversation if your breath is humming. You know what I'm saying? And I was kind of homie lover friends with this one guy, and the front of his house seemed to be pretty clean. I'm gonna say decent. When I got to his room, he had clothes. I thought he had just moved there or something like that, but he had some suits and watches and stuff all over the place. I said, "Oh, maybe he just moved here, or maybe he just came back from a business trip or whatever." But baby, listen, it was just him and his son. When I went to that goddamn bathroom, fucking G, mother man, like, I don't know why the hell he had a toilet bowl scrubber, because he never used it. It looked like somebody there got IBS hella bad.
Oh God!
You know what I'm saying? Like, you want me to sit on this goddamn toilet and this boo boo squirts all up in the goddamn dried up on top of dried up on top of dried up?
I would faint. I would have fainted.
And then I looked up in the tub.
It was underneath the lid, wasn't it? Underneath the lid, like
no. It was in the toilet basin, the bowl. It was boo boo squirts all up in the toilet bowl.
Yeah.
And then the tub looked like they just got in with dirty feet and dirty everything, and never ever have they ever cleaned the tub ever. And he was like, "You can take a shower here." I said, "No, the fuck I can't." No, I cannot. No, sir. I'm gonna go home and take my
man.
So yeah, that was like a major turn off for me, was seeing that like, I understand you get busy and things get out of order sometimes, and you know what I'm saying, but then you go through and you clean shit up.
No.
But when you got boo-boo, like, that was one thing my ex pissed me off. If you got IBS, so lift up the toilet seat and clean the toilet. You know what I'm saying? Underneath the toilet seat. Clean the goddamn toilet bowl out. There's a boo-boo squirt on the side. You know what I'm saying? I shouldn't have to come up in here and look at your shit on the side of the goddamn toilet. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm a girl, I sit down. So I sit down and something like flop back up, and then guess what? My pH balance is off.
Right. And then you walking around with a funky kitty. That's not that nobody's
because your boo-boo squirt, because you didn't want to clean your boo-boo squirt. Yeah.
Nobody's gonna be happy you got a funky kitty. But tell him to go on Amazon. There's this stuff called the pink stuff, and he can scrub his tub out. That stuff, pink stuff.
I ain't telling him nothing. That's an X. It's an X.
I'm gonna say
go
yes,
get some pink stuff and clean his house.
I love the pink stuff. I have the pink stuff.
The pink stuff is amazing. They got all kinds of pink stuff. Tell him go clean his house.
Right. But yeah, that's like one thing is, I have other red flags. Like when I see guys have a little bit of a temper early on, you know what I'm saying? Or just seem to be a little bit fickle and play some type of games. Like I was meeting one guy last week, and I told him I'm not going to meet you at your house at a first time meet. Like, I just don't do that. We're going to meet at a place that's out and open or whatever, public place. And so he gave me an address. I was like, this looks like some apartments or something. He's like, no, we just park your car and we're going to walk to the shop. So I was like, he's going to get something. I was like, oh, okay, whatever. So I'm here. He's like, you have to come upstairs. I said, no, the fuck, I'm not coming upstairs. I already told you I'm not meeting you at your damn house, at your door, none of that for a first time meet. Well, I'm not coming up. I'm not coming down. I said, well, I'm goodbye. And I blocked his ass. Like, I just don't like those. Like, we're just meeting for the first time and you're already playing those those mind games. Though that to me is a red flag, and you should respect a woman who does not want to come to your house, up inside your house, for a first time meet. You know what I'm saying? Like I became the age that I am. I got here because of the smarts that I have, my street smarts. So I'm not gonna be just going up to guys' house, random guys that I'm meeting.
Especially when you have toilet bowl boo boo trauma.
There you go.
Man, that's a different dude. That's a different one. But I'm just saying, yeah.
But there's trauma. There's toilet bowl boo boo trauma. So I'm not coming.
It's the boo boo squirts for me. It's the boo boo squirts.
She got toilet bowl boo boo trauma, so she ain't coming to your house. She got toilet bowl boo boo trauma.
Man, I've never seen a toilet or a tub like that in my life.
That's just
I've seen some bad stuff, but I've never.
Did it look like Joe's apartment? Not
Man,
Joe,
listen.
not Joe, but you know the movie Joe's Apartment.
Yeah, not this.
Oh, I don't. Who Joe? What Joe?
No, you remember that
movie? Talking about the movie
where the guy had all the roaches?
Oh yeah.
No. Even the refrigerator, it was like a black. You know the refrigerator, the silver one. It had fingerprints all over the I hate fingerprints on the goddamn refrigerator. And you know what? It was him and it was him and a big old teenager. You got a big old teenage son who play basketball. Why are y'all not wiping the damn refrigerator? Look like toddlers live there, like 10 toddlers. I don't like that.
Stainless steel cleaner. You can buy stuff to clean your stainless steel.
I got some.
I just did it last night.
Mm-hmm.
Joe, your boy Rocky is.
It don't matter. So I said when I went to the goddamn bathroom. Obviously, when I came over, I was clean. God damn it, Rocky,
Joe,
shit! Don't play with me.
You read them comments. Your man Rocky is fire in them comments. Look at it.
Yeah, that's okay. You ain't. Guess who ain't getting the yum yum? Rocky Alexander. How about that?
Rocky,
Rocky's
fire in them comments.
So I mean, I guess you see the bathroom after the fact, right? You go to clean up, and then you see.
Right when you come to somebody's house and I knew him, so like I need to use the bathroom. I'm not coming to your house and needing a shower. I'm already.
I'm going to your bathroom, and that's how I know whether.
Well, I am now.
Yeah,
I am now. I'm definitely now.
I drink too much water.
Exactly.
I got PTSD from that.
Rocky on the show when we do our fitness and weight loss segment. We need to get him on the show.
Is he
I don't
weight loss dude?
Okay.
Yeah, he's dope. We need to get him.
I got another couple of people that I'm trying to get on for that segment too. So yeah, that'll be a great show. Having to get in the well, we'll get the title together, but we definitely trying to get the fitness show together because well, one of our people fell through, but yep.
Yeah.
But now,
hey, so with that in mind, listen. Last week, my man left us hanging with a comment, right? And well, he posed a question and then poised it for us to talk about it this week, right? And the question was, ladies, what do you think super successful men, why they wouldn't date African American women? And all of the traditional answers were given, right? You know, they're rude, they're loud, they're obnoxious, and this, that, and the other. But that was not any of the answers. That wasn't it. So we're gonna let my man Diego, Mr. Make Sense. We're gonna let Mr. Make Sense go ahead and spit that out and tell us what is it that these super successful, when he calls it super successful, because you're talking a very small percentile of men who make $500,000 a year or better, right?
Yeah. Are we talking black men? Because we don't care about the other men. We're only talking. So let's be specific. Black men. We don't care about Asian or white men. I mean, white men or Indian men or Sri Lankan men. We're talking black men.
I'm gonna talk black men.
Okay, go ahead, bro. You got the stage.
All right, so thank you guys again. Hopefully, everybody's still watching. Who is this dude? A little bit about me, guys. I am a small business owner. I have a software firm here in Louisville, Kentucky. We also have an office in New York City. I'm in the real estate space as well. I purchase real estate, and I'm also a guy that invests in the stock market. So I want to talk specifically about men I personally talked to and met over the last decade who are Black African-American men who I look at those guys as real good leaders in industries. They're very smart guys. Some of these guys scholastically went to private colleges. Some of them have not, but they're still the men that have worked themselves up in their elk. Women seem to be attracted to these men. They make a lot of money. Some of these guys are very successful. Some of them are bachelors. Some of them are married men. I just literally came from Atlanta 2 days ago. I was in a all-black gala. And I actually had another conversation similar to this with some of these black men and a few of them that were married. And it was interesting that even their wives agreed on the few reasons. There's roughly about 5, but I'm going to talk about the top 3. Is that okay?
Okay.
All right. I must re-say the question because Joe kind of said it a certain way. It's why black men who are highly successful, meaning the ones that range between $500,000 or more, millionaires, why do they typically not date African-American women? Oftentimes people say, yeah, they're going to talk about us, attitudes. That's usually not what they say. The number one reason I've heard men say, you ready? It's usually got to, and let me be specific again. I'm talking about black men, not like an athlete or a rapper or a D-boy. Right. I'm saying a black man that people look at. Some of these black men, I've seen them in different people's cities, and they'll be in magazines, the black who's who of the city, and they things like that. Right. 100 black men, they part of those organizations. They'll usually say, number one, it's got to do with not really feeling like they have much in common, and also proximity. There's a 2-part answer. A lot of these men, they may be at a lot of occasions and places where they're associating with other people that make a lot of money. And quite often, they don't see a lot of black women in proximity there, they would consider
like where I live. Okay, I got you. I live in a very suburb area in Southern California, and there's not a lot of us out here. And a lot of the brothers that are out here are married to usually white women or Asian women, or or some Latinas, but mostly white and Asian. Yeah. Yes. Because there's just not enough of us out here.
Right. And they feel like there's not proximity, and they feel like besides them being black, maybe they grew up listening to Al Green as well, but they don't feel like they have a lot in common either. They feel like, well, they go in the country clubs, they're going to all these different things like that. They're maybe hanging out in places like Switzerland and stuff like that. They're meeting people that like to play golf, that might like to play, shit like pickleball and racquetball. And a lot of times it's much easier to meet a woman who's part of these country clubs that maybe have their family may have come money, and they see these
black women. Like, women just like to eat pickles.
Right. Look at you, man. And they'll say they just feel more comfortable, like they already at a nice place, and they meet. That's like that sister. She knows a lot about Creed. Some brother wants to go find him some nice fragrance. Sometimes they feel like when they go to these nice shops on Rodero Drive, like the young lady in California, a lot of times there's limited women that look like him. So he finds more in common. So you get what I'm saying? And sometimes it feels unfair to black women sometimes, because they feel like, hey, why don't you come get one of us, bring us along, and then we all can kind of redo this thing together, because none of us truly typically come from that. You know what I'm saying? Only 4% of people even get things that are handed to them through inheritance. That means that 96% of first-time millionaires are usually self-made, quote unquote, right? First time in their family. Right. So quite often a black person that came from a projects like me in Harlem, and now they done made it to a certain level. They're making, hundreds of $1,000s a month, whereas coming from a background where you was barely able to get $100 a week. So it's funny that sometimes that happens, which leads me to number 2 reason. And I call it Mike Jones. Who? Mike Jones. A lot of brothers feel like the ones I'm specifically talking to, some of these brothers that's Kappas, some of these brothers that's in 100 black men, some of these brothers that are small techies, some of these guys that became lawyers, got their own practices, doctors, dentists. Sometimes they felt like, but y'all ain't like me back when I was in high school. Y'all thought I was kind of corny and lame. I wasn't the athlete. You know what I'm saying? I was the D-boy on the block when I was 10th grade. A sophomore in college. You get what I'm saying? A lot of
call it the Maxwell syndrome.
Yeah, I heard the Maxwell syndrome. I call it Mike Jones syndrome, because Mike Jones say back then didn't want me. Now I'm hot, all on me. And I think a lot of them have talked about that. It's like the best feeling ever to be a man and you've moved your way up through life and you've had that partner with you hand by hand. You know what I'm saying? You and her was a teenage love, like Slick Rick say, and then y'all kind of made it through college. Maybe had a couple of turmoil and topsy turvy, but then you guys graduated and moved on to the grown up phase together and became, lover, homie, friends, and you get married. And she was there, and you was there. Y'all pushed each other, and you was there the whole time. That's a lot of times those brothers feel like, but you wasn't there then. You at the finish line. You like me now. I'm in the magazine of who's who in the city. I'm doing pretty good now. I stayed in decent shape. And now Mike Jones, who, Rocky? And it's like some of them feel like you like me now, but you didn't like me then. So a lot of them kind of still kind of have a little bit of that going on. I'm just being honest. And it's
so
a little
basically a status thing. Because the white girls weren't there liking them either. So why blame it on the few black girls that didn't like you?
Let me finish.
It's kind of unfair. Yes.
I'm about to get to that.
Right.
I'm about to get to that. I'm glad
you're right. You're right.
So they thinking the one or two few girlfriends they got was that girl that was that Asian girl when he was a sophomore in college and he went to CommuCon. Or it was the one or two white girls that he met when he was maybe he was on the chess club or something. He was like, I only had like 2 or 3 girlfriends my whole life when I was younger, and it usually wasn't the sisters. We saw they might have saw 1 or 2 real super fine sisters when they was in like 10th grade in high school, and she didn't get no play from her. Or he got in college. He's like, I need to lift a little weight. So I'm still considered the lame. These girls are 20 years old and they're dating dudes that are grown men off of the college campus. So a lot of them feel like that. They feel like, man, the 1 or 2 girlfriends they had sometimes was like a square Becky, or was an Asian girl or something like that. They gave them some play because they wore some corny clothes at Comic-Con when they was like, 22 years old or 24. And a lot of times they feel like I ain't really had that much experience. I'm gonna give you an example. I have a friend of mine named Dennis. He lives in Georgia now. His brother makes a lot of money. He has also a technology company, right? He grew up half of his life like Kobe Bryant over in Italy. He grew up in Italy. His father was a military man. He grew up in Italy until he was probably like 15 and overseas like that. He finally came to the States. We've been friends for like almost 15 years now. He's doing very well. He's been married once. He has a couple of kids. He was married to a white woman. White woman treated him horrible. She cheated on him, everything. He became a single father, raised his 3 kids by himself. But his whole life, he's only dated 1 black woman. They think he corny. Even to this day, he's tried it. I've watched him try. He went out with one time before, but a lot of times those sisters think he's corny. So what I'm saying is,
is he corny?
Like that. Go ahead.
I say, well, is he corny? I mean, if that's your personality, that's just your personality.
I don't think he's corny. I mean, this brother.
Well, we need him on the show so we can see if he's corny.
I mean, but see that's the thing.
Is he in real good shape? The brother always been in real good shape. Work out like crazy, doing marathons.
You're right, and it may be something where it does. Oh, go ahead, Joe.
Well, I mean, I was just gonna say, I feel like it's a situation where our culture, our society, our melanated culture feeds us a bunch of bullshit, right? So the only way that you, in a sense, kind of decide whether somebody's corny or not without actually getting to know them,
you compare it based.
Yeah, it's based on some superficial shit. And in a lot of cases, if you look at our culture says that what's cool is, all this bullshit over here. So then what women who were raised in that culture and may still be mentally caught in that culture, when they go out, they're not looking for the things when we're all this stuff we're talking about, asking questions, red flags and everything else. They're not doing that. They're not asking those questions. They're not doing that. So they're looking at the superficial things. And then the guys like that who were considered lame or corny or what have you, they turn out to end up being the Maxwell. And then next thing you know, it's like, hold up, he was a geek when I was a kid. And then now all of a sudden,
I want the corny dude all day long. I don't want
me
Russell Wilson.
That's the problem.
Well, I don't want nobody that's just so corny that we're not relatable.
She could be right. But those guys that you say you want a corny guy now, but I'm not going to front. They hold a little bit of bitterness about that because they like back then.
Yeah, but that's so long ago.
But you know what? I always like the corny guys because I've always been attracted to smart men. So I've always liked the smart, corny guy. I've never gone for the D-boys and the athletes. I've always liked smart men. I have a thing for a man in a suit.
You gotta admit though, women will say men in suits look good. I wear suits all the time, but I'm telling you, I watched Rocky's comment. Rocky said that he used to ask out all the sisters when he was growing up, and he said a lot of them didn't give him no play till you blow up. And I'm saying I've seen a bunch of brothers, even like I said, I know brothers, like I said, they take their shirt off, they get in good shape, ripped, all kind of stuff, but the women will say, "Well, he looks so good." You know, women be tripping when they see the Jonathan Majors of the world and the Anthony B. What's his name, B. Jordans of the world. These are some good looking brothers, but they don't usually date sisters because they was considered corny when they was in school. They want some corny dude.
Well, my thing is, corny is there's a fine line between corny and just not relatable. Sometimes if he's corny, he's corny. I mean, it is what it is. Maybe it's just his personality is just not relatable to a lot of Black women, depending on, like you said, it's a cultural thing.
Could be.
Maybe where I come from and where you are right now, or where where you come from. Like if you were raised in Italy and I'm raised in East Oakland, maybe we just don't have a lot of common. Maybe he's going after a lot of Black women that just don't have a lot of in common with him. Maybe he would have to realign himself with those type of Black women that do have a lot of in common, maybe military families or something like that. But I mean, you can be rich as hell all day and you might just be a corny ass person. Your jokes might not just be funny. And it just might not be funny, and it just might be the white girl who's just playing the game a little bit better than the Black woman because she know that this dude got some money, so I'm gonna laugh at these corny ass jokes. She might not really be in love with his ass, but she might just be playing him.
We're not gonna argue that. All of those are facts. I'm just trying to explain to you what the men say.
That's understandable. That's understandable, but you being bitter about something that happened when we're kids. 19 years old, 20. God, how young are you?
Yeah, but trauma is trauma.
Right. They need to get some. Hold on, wait, Joe. No. Trauma is trauma, and like she said, therapy. You do need to go and talk to somebody about that because you holding on to some bitterness about some shit that we was doing when we were children. We were we were teenagers. What damn frame of mind did we have at 18, 19, 20, 21 years old that we don't have? We have a whole different frame of mind than at 30, 35. If you're still corny and someone still thinks you're corny at 30, 35, maybe you just corny. How about that?
I don't agree with what you're saying. I'm just laying out what
I mean, and it's very interesting.
I'm not here.
No. I'm just saying.
Tell you.
I liked everything you said. It's just a corny.
I like what Rocky said. It's the bad boy effect. They want the bad boy, not the square. Simple as that. And
I don't want no bad boy.
You know what he's saying.
That means
it is the idea of wanting something that you shouldn't have or quote unquote can't have.
I don't know. I can't speak for that. Women.
I don't want no damn bad boy.
In a lot of cases, women are raised right. Even if you're raised in a household where women are treated, you're petite and kid gloves and don't mess with my daughter and this, that, and the other. And then sometimes it's a situation to where when a young girl rebels, it's going after something that she is not supposed to have. Right. That's the slave master that comes up on the plantation and says, all right, which one of you niggers done slept with my daughter? All right, she got a mixed baby and it ain't come from me. You know what I mean?
Silly, man.
What is wrong with you?
I don't know why. What's up with the slave master reference?
It's crazy, man.
With that in mind, I only said a slave master reference tonight. What are you talking about?
I'm just trying to be a distributor of information.
I said tonight.
I'm just trying to be a distributor of information because I've had a chance to talk to men because sometimes I feel like men sometimes don't even want to talk about stuff, and I'm saying I've sat down because I am a Black man who came out of humble beginnings. I do very well, and I've dated several Black women. I date a Black woman right now. The point I'm trying to make is a lot of Black men I've met, these are some of the things they talk about. I'm just conveying information. It's not about me saying let's get theoretical about it and everything. I can give you number 3 if you guys ready.
I'm ready.
Go ahead.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
And listen.
3.
And real quick before you say that, let's take note of Shayna Dixon's comment. He can be corny yet real cool though, and that's absolute facts right there.
Yeah, right. He can be.
I appreciate that, Miss Shayna. All right,
I think he's just going after the wrong type of people.
Let me go to number 3.
Okay.
Here's the word of the day. You ready? The word of the day: submissive.
Oh,
we said that last week.
Lord,
let me go into what they specifically said about the word.
Okay, I'm ready. Let's do it.
I've had a lot of black men say this, and listen, the word was said 2 days ago in Atlanta by 2 black women who are married to 2 of these men. The black women themselves said this. They said a lot of times, this is what the men have said too. A lot of times when men are very successful, that are black men, they're looking for a helpmate. They're not looking for a partner. They're looking for a helpmate, not a partner. Meaning that they are in the position where they are wanting some of those terms met on a submissive level. And they're saying that quite often when they've met women that are African-American women, they're not usually so hand in hand about the submissive. They're usually looking for a partner. They're like, hey, you be Jay-Z, I be Beyonce. And these men are saying, well, if you're Beyonce when I met you, that's one thing. He doesn't want to wait on you to become Beyonce. He's looking for you now after he's done so many things for. He's looking for more of a submissive wife now, someone that's going to be more of a helpmate. And they're going to be able to find his weaknesses and help him out with her strengths instead of let's just be some partner type stuff. And a lot of sisters say the word partner, and these men are not looking for partners. They're usually looking for a woman that's submissive and a helpmate. I will pause there.
Okay, submissive. Now you know, because you know you and I are mutual friends with Brother Yah, and one of the things he talks about is that word submissiveness. He speaks as it being something that came from Christianity, and
sure.
You know how he feels about that.
Oh,
yeah. But with that in mind, one of the things that he says is not submissive, but the word, take that word out and put the word alignment
or cooperate.
You know. Yeah,
I'll use alignment or cooperate.
Exactly. So
I use the word submissive on purpose because that was the word that was thrown around.
It's a trigger word, to be honest.
Absolutely,
absolutely. But when you talk about that, looking for a woman who is in alignment with them, meaning I got certain things that I need met. Look, I'm already bringing $2 million a year to the table. So I think I kind of get to say these things that I need met, and if you
bring that
$2 million,
we
can rock. What they mean. I don't think that's what they mean.
Right.
Okay, so go ahead.
I'm gonna be submissive. Exactly.
So what are they saying, Diego?
But the problem is,
I ain't gonna complain. Your dinner's cooked on.
Exactly.
Turn your football on. I'm gonna run your bath and bring your beer. All of that. If you bring
period.
It to the table right
but
now,
these dudes that wants us to be submissive,
and I gotta pay out the bills, I'm not bringing that.
I'm not submitting to a goddamn thing. Period. What she said.
You can take care of me, and you can take care of everything, and I don't gotta worry about X, Y, and Z over here all day long.
I can be your helpmate.
All day
long.
I
can definitely be your helpmate all day.
Are you in a position? If you're in a position, you have to be in that position. And I think Diego was talking about men that are in that position. But
I'm talking about the men that's in that position.
Right. A lot of men are not in that position to be able to handle. A wife is a responsibility. That's what
it is.
Just talking about that.
It's a major
responsibility. It's a major responsibility. And if you're not in a position to handle a wife and the responsibility of a wife and a family and everything that goes along with it, saying that obviously this is a partnership and I have to contribute also.
Right.
But if you have everything taken care of over here and then I can just take care of this over here all day long. Yep. I have no problem with that.
All day long.
All day long. And I'm going to be the best that ever did it.
But we're not meeting those type of men. We're not meeting the two. Well, Rocky, I really don't care if I know no disrespect.
Rocky on fire in these comments. Rocky,
you know what I'm saying? And I really don't see you being a $2 million a year man either. So now you know what I'm saying? You don't see that, and I don't see that. So what you got? Come on, I got more where that's at, baby. I got a whole bag full of them over here. All bag full. I can keep pulling it on out the drawer.
But what, a girlfriend and I, we were having a discussion earlier in the summer, and we were talking.
Oh, somebody.
All right, Joe.
The reason why we're not meeting the men.
You a $5 million man? Okay.
To do with where we were hanging out. She's like,
and my name is Katy Perry.
You know what I'm saying? Like, we like this bar called Long Shots. Long Shots is my cheers. When you want to go where everybody knows your name.
For some late night
we're not
snacks.
Gonna meet him at Long Shot. She's like, we gotta change up where we're going. She's like, we need to hit Ruth Chris happy hour. We gotta start going to Captain's Quarters.
I'm gonna tell you something. Can I help this lady out right here? Can I please help you, sweetie? Can I help you?
Yes.
Listen, I'm telling you as a man that have no problems sharing with you guys my profit and loss statements. I make the kind of money you say, and I hate disclosing this. And
I believe you do.
Joe would tell you, I hate talking about this shit. He had to ask me multiple times to come on this damn show because I hate doing this shit. But what I'm going to say to you is, I'm trying to tell you where I'm at, and I'm hanging out with these men y'all talking about. There's usually no sisters where we at. Because I'm telling you, the places these men hang out, sisters don't even know about them.
Well, that's what we're saying. Again. Why don't they come hang out with it? So we already know that. Come hang out where the sisters are, and let us go where they are hanging out.
No, Gigi, that's not what I said.
I understand.
You're trying to get them to go back and scoop you up.
Right, that's what me and my girlfriends were talking about. That we have to change up where we're hanging out at.
Yeah, so we're hanging out at exactly.
Can I help Sister Gigi out real fast? We're not going to meet men of that caliber in the places that we hang out. We got to switch it up.
Can Sister Gigi? Can I help you out and be serious about this? Can I help you out?
Yeah, I'm gonna be serious. I'm serious.
Listen, I'm being honest with you. I'm saying quite often. It's like I was at a restaurant the other night, right? We went to a very expensive restaurant. One of my friends was there. He was a guest friend of mine. He's a lot older than me, but he's a good friend of mine back from New York. I don't know if you guys heard of the group called God. There's a gentleman named Damian Hall. His brother name is Adam Hall.
Yeah.
So Damian Hall, he was my guest at this.
Yes, of course.
What I'm saying is, the places we go to eat, it's like I'm not gonna see. First of all, I'm barely gonna see any black men in there.
Right.
I don't never see black women in some of the places I go. And if it's somewhere that's very expensive, where you're talking about the bottle of wine gonna be $500 a bet. I mean, women, they ain't there.
Right.
Women are in there. They're just not black. I'm just telling you.
Right.
They done got all the bat signals and all the secret hangout, and they be there. And I'm saying black women don't be there. Black women go places where they think those men are. They'll go to somewhere where they think. Let's say you meet a brother, and this is no disrespect, because I respect every black man, every man that works his ass off. But you might see a brother, let's say he is a construction worker. And let's say he's doing pretty good. He's making like $85,000 a year, right? But he got enough money to go buy him a nice suit, maybe get him a nice watch and tie. He might even, got a little swag to him, and he may go eat at the spots every blue moon, like the Capitol Grills, or he might find a way to spend like $4,000 to get him like one of these, right? One of these. I bought a couple of these to show you, but he get one of them like memberships at one of the places where he can go in, and it's a $4,000 a year membership, so he can kind of flex a little bit, like cigar bars and stuff like that. But he don't do that. He don't do that all the time. He do it at his expense, and he's like trying himself to network with these other men that he's gonna occasionally come across too, because men are trying to always still sharp and still. So women sometimes will go to those places and say the Capitol Grills of the world. Maybe they'll finally go to a man's cigar bar or something, and they'll assume that those men that are in there, that sometimes are good-looking guys, sometimes might hand you their business card, or maybe they do have a decent job and they making some good money. They taking care of their bills. But they ain't the guys y'all talking about, the ones that's making the $1 million.
Right. No, I get that.
Because those men, to be honest with you, they too busy to be there. I'll get invited to something like a place. Somebody say, "Hey man, come up, man. A couple of us gonna be at Capitol Grill." I might not be done until 8:30, 9 o'clock doing something I'm doing. So I'll go somewhere else. I know. Well, one of my friends like, we always got that back table at this one exclusive spot where it's a small little Italian restaurant or something is high end. And a lot of times it's going to be a handful of girls hanging out there. And we know why they hanging out there. They ain't just so happen to be at the bar in a tight ass dress, but they don't be sisters. They be, you know what I'm saying?
Let me ask you something. These guys, are they interested in meeting black women? You know what I'm saying? Or if they are, like I said, and they know that black women are not there, because a lot of times, not all of us, but a lot of times, maybe our budget isn't we're not in the budget for $500 bottle. Why? Because usually we have children to take care of. Because here we go again with not most of us that. There are a lot of us that are typically single moms, so we have other priorities over buying $500 bottle of wine. Are they ever interested in maybe as you said, that we're going to use this term dating down or just coming down to maybe where there are some good, decent Black women not hangouts, but maybe where they would find some decent Black women that can't afford a $500 or just not in the budget for the $500 bottle of wine. Or if they're not, then they're just not, and that's fine. But
I got a great answer. No, I got a good answer for you. This is going to be a good thing. Whenever I have met Black men that didn't meet their wives when they was young, and they make a lot of money, and they got a Black wife or a Black significant other, sister. You use the word dating down. I don't like that word, but you use it. That's usually what
I don't either. I only used it from last week's show.
But that's usually what they're doing. They're saying, I'm gonna go ahead and give it a chance. Because me personally, I think a lot of Black women date down a lot. I'm just using the word. And I think the men the men that are up there that they want, I think with those men do date them, guess what they doing? Now he dating down.
He's dating down. Yeah.
Right.
And some men do that. I mean, me personally, I've done it.
We said on the show last week that more men date down than
Black women. And I mean, of course, I hate using that word, but yeah, I mean, there's no way. I mean,
I hate that word because it's dating down. That sounds so condescending.
Yeah.
To say I'm dating down, but in other words, when you say dating down, we're just saying status. I'm going to date someone who is not on the same socioeconomic status as I am. So, I'm going to go down a little bit so that I can meet a good person.
Can I speak something? Now I'm going to
Yes,
talk
of
personally
course.
Now I'm going to talk personally. I was talking about those guys that I wrote down stuff they talk about. Now I'm going to talk personal. Now, I personally have dated status-wise, like you said, down. And I'm dating a sister right now. Now, I don't mind dating Black women. I've dated women that ain't just Black, that are down. What I'm saying is, when I have met women who, if they are Black, let's say they're African or French, and they come from this, it is a real big difference personally in the chemistry when you're doing that. It's the same thing with a woman. If she's career oriented, she's kicking ass, and she's saying, well, oh boy, cool. And she go down here like, let me try to get his credit right. Let me try. You just feel like you're doing so much work.
Right.
But like as a man, if he's up here and he meet a woman and she come from that kind of background herself, maybe her family's African or maybe she's Arab, because it's like they seem like they have more in common. It don't seem like nobody
in common. That's right. Commonalities, right?
So to me personally, when I've dated sisters and I'm like, man, she got a good spirit about it. I know she ain't, nowhere here, but she got a good spirit and she educated. I still feel like there's so much stuff I'm saying going over her head. Because if she start hearing me on the phone talking to somebody about, this year looks like this, or I'm talking about earning statements, profit loss, blah, blah, blah. I'm talking about some stocks that went bad, or I'm trying to move something. She's just listening like, oh, I need to learn that. And I'm like, but if I'm talking to some of these other women, they're going to be like, I need to let you meet my brother. He banks at such and such. They got a deal. It's more of, it just feels like they're meeting you already where the rubber meets the road. Whereas sometimes you feel like you're trying to move the pieces of the puzzle together, right? Because like I said, I usually don't get women I personally don't usually date women that have attitudes. And that could be because don't
nobody want to date nobody that's 24/7 with a bad disposition and attitude. You know what I'm saying?
Most women I
know some people like that.
Yeah.
Right.
Most women I date with, no matter what color they are, they usually act super nice to me. But I got friends that are like, man, how you do that? I'm like, it could be that, I don't know. Maybe it is a thing. I saw the sister say, Shauna in the comments, she said, men want submissive women before, not just being submissive for their money. And that's true. So, and that could be, it could be that thing that the women that say if a man make millions of dollars, she gonna be submissive because of that. You come in the house with that, you bring that to the table and be submissive. But a lot of times, I guess when these men are meeting women that they kind of up here too, like maybe they got it from their family or something like that, a lot of those women already kind of know what it's like to be around a man with money. So they're like, let me go make him some tea or blah, 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 blah. And then some women will say, well, I'm going to do it now because finally I met a man that does that. So now I'm going to do it. And it's like an on and off switch. And I think the men aren't looking for that on and off. So they're just looking for somebody they naturally meet. And after they get to know him for a minute here, they're like, oh, she's naturally a soft woman. She's kind of like the helpmate type person. Not, I'll do this if, not the conditional type. So I think sometimes, a lot of times, sisters can be lovely, but that right there trip them up trying to meet these kind of men because they'll spot that.
Right, and I do have a rebuttal for that. I have a small rebuttal. think about the fact that the black women who might be a little bit strong-minded, think about how many times in the past they have been submissive to the brothers,
Ooh, we're
and
not
how
even
many
gonna
times
talk
they've
about
gotten
that.
burnt, right? How many
We're not
times
even
they've
gonna talk
gotten
about
burnt
that.
by being submissive. So you
Yeah.
get burnt
I get what you're
like a
saying.
couple, 2 or 3 good times. You're not just about to come in to
Sure.
every single brother that you meet being submissive and
I get it.
hoping that they are these great people, because I'm telling you, if you see it, maybe a strong-minded black woman, there's a reason. It's like
I'm
she's
not
got
telling you
burnt
this.
already. And when I
Sure.
say burnt, I mean burnt with kids, taking care of kids by
But
themselves,
that goes.
getting burnt
Can
with
I tell you what the
other.
guy is thinking?
But that doesn't that go
With,
back to the therapy thing
He's thinking what
you
that's got
spoke
to do with
about?
him. I
Yeah,
agree with you.
exactly.
I think that you're right. I think you're right. The pathology that you're talking about, you ain't lying. You're telling
right,
the exact facts. But that
right,
guy's
right,
thinking,
right.
I don't know what that's got to do with me.
Yeah, it goes back to
Well,
self
just like the
therapy,
girls
getting your shit
that
together,
corny
right?
dude, the cornball. You know what I'm saying? Because the girls didn't date him at 19, 20 years old, called him corny. What that got to do with me? I wasn't the girl that, you know what I'm saying? What that got to do with a whole
I
beautiful, a
mean, but
world of beautiful of African American sisters that didn't do it to him? I mean, we could all say that, but what I'm saying is, and you do have a point. I have a point, like we all have a point. You know what I'm saying? But a lot of times there is a reason why
I know.
I don't feel like it's right if I just am automatically submissive to every single man
Well,
I
you have
meet.
to, so, like Rocky said, you can't submit to everybody. You got to be selective. And to
yeah,
me, this is
Right.
what I feel like submissiveness is. I feel like submissiveness is, you have your thing going over here, and you're taking on the responsibility of me. So that means that I
Mhm.
trust you to take on the responsibility of me, and then
Mhm.
therefore I can fulfill X, Y, Z. And I have, and
Right.
I've typically taken that submissive role in every relationship that I've ever been in. I've been burnt before, but I still believe in
Yeah.
that because
Mhm.
that's how I was raised.
Mhm.
I grew up seeing that.
Right.
But you
So,
cannot be
Right.
submissive
so
to everybody. But you can, if I
Everybody.
can't
Right.
submit to
but
you, then I can't be in a relationship with you because I don't trust you. So to
Exactly.
trust me.
yeah,
It's the trust thing.
doesn't
Exactly. That's key
submissiveness? I
word.
mean, we're not even talking submissiveness until we're like,
Married.
into the relationship anyway, right? Like
Right.
married
Yeah.
or whatever
that's
the
not what
case.
these guys are
But
talking about.
no. But you can see early on if there's going to be an issue with a woman being too
Yeah.
strong-minded, or is she
Or
able to
being
be
Yeah, they're
submissive.
not
And
yeah,
I
talking about what
think
you're saying, Joe.
it,
yeah.
right.
Well, I mean, what I'm saying is that ultimately, I mean, you're not just walking up. These guys aren't looking for women to walk up to them and bow down. You know what I mean? Like literally. They're not looking for that.
No. I
They're
think
looking
people play with this word so weirdly, and I personally have been around women that are
exactly.
different personality types, and you can see certain things about women. You don't have to know them for a long time. You can know them one day. You're like, oh, she's already doing things like that, or she don't do that, or she's very opinionated, or she's not, or just like a woman can see things about a man. So I mean, I
Exactly.
got one more point, but I got one point, which is number 4, and
Okay. Oh, we
I
got
think
number 4.
I think it's the most controversial one.
Oh shit.
Probably so.
But let me just say this. Somebody was saying, let me finish by saying this. I mean, when I was saying the word submissive and stuff like that, these sisters say they've been burned. I believe you. I totally believe in what you're saying. I think there's a reason for everything like you guys are saying. But what I'm trying to say, and I really want people to hear when I say this, I'm not looking for us to say, here's all the reasons why. What I'm just simply trying to explain to people is what these men are saying they like and don't like. It's not about somebody
The
saying, well,
insight into their world.
let's
I
break
get
it
it.
all the way down.
Right.
Because we
It's
can
the
break it
insight.
down. You still ain't gonna make these guys like something they don't like.
Yeah.
And we don't want to. You're
You get
right.
what I'm
You
saying? Because
absolutely.
you can't. That's when people be trying to explain stuff to me, and I'm like, people do that about a lot of stuff, and I'm thinking once you finish
We're not trying to
explaining,
convince them. We're not trying to change their mind because their mind is made. So,
right? I mean, they just
yeah.
telling us, they just telling me this stuff. They're not saying it
Right.
in a negative way. They're just like, well, here's my reasons. It's not about
Okay.
I mean, but the
What's
women want
number
the
4?
successful,
We ready.
and we really are.
Number 4. Y'all ready?
Yep.
Kids. And it's not what you think. It's not because a woman have a kid or kids. These men are usually looking at it like who you had kids with.
Ooh, okay.
They looking at it like, look, let's say I'm gonna just say a girl named Ann, a sister. She from St. Louis. She got a kid. She might got two. Let's say she was married. Her husband is a widow or something like that. Her husband died. Or let's say she had a husband. She had a dude. She had two kids from. Let's say he was a D-boy. Or he's an asshole that's in jail. What I'm saying is they're looking at who you had a kid from. Because occasionally
I don't blame them on that one.
So sometimes they'll still occasionally date women with a kid or two, but they feel like
is your baby daddy in jail or in prison?
They're gonna compare your baby daddy to them. They're gonna say in their mind they feel like you really shouldn't get no higher than your baby daddy. If your baby father is a dope, if your baby father is a dope dealer, or your baby father was a dude that used to rob and steal from stores or whatever, or he's just a deadbeat, they looking like, why are you trying to get with me?
I mean,
we gotta elevate ourselves. We can't continue making the same mistakes.
Yeah, but he's saying,
or they can't
continue. You can elevate yourself. That ain't got nothing to do with me. I'm just telling you what they said. They like that ain't got nothing to do with me.
Damn.
He's like, wow, you was accepting the bullshit before.
Yeah. So let's say a woman had a husband and she was married. She had two kids. Her husband might have died in combat. A guy would be like, oh well, shit. She had a pretty solid dude. He'll say that. But a lot of times, let's be honest. Women will say that, men judge them. I'm sick of men talking about kids. I mean, we women, what we supposed to do? Be 35 and not have kids? You're going to have some women that don't, but a lot of them going to have it. The men are usually looking at who your baby father was.
Well, that's okay, because I look at who your baby mama is and where she at. That's why I said I do not date men.
Flips it every
I do not date men with little babies. I do not want to date you if that baby is 5,
you better have
6,
a big baby
and under.
It better be a big baby, because if it ain't a big baby and it's a little
baby,
ain't
a big baby, if it's 5 and under, that baby mama is right around the corner. No, I'm saying there's a baby mama too close. If your baby
mama's a booger wolf, I'm not gonna date you either, because that tells you ain't got no standards.
Yeah, that's a good one. And the last little point I wrote beside it, they said, who your baby daddy is now is the number one thing. And then they had a comment B on kids is how disciplined they are.
Yep.
Now
I don't blame them.
Now I'm gonna go ahead and be transparent and talk about me again. I've only twice dated 2 women before with the kid. They both had 1 kid each. I've only did it twice. I'm gonna tell you the truth. One of the women, she had a girl, and I was nervous as hell because I'm like, I'm around a little girl. She can probably say something. The little girl was beautiful. The little girl looked like me. People should think it was my real daughter. The girl did look like me. She looked like me. Sweet little girl. I'm not gonna lie. Me and her mother didn't make it, but the girl was sweet, and I still occasionally talk to her. Like I said, I'm one of those weirdos. I go back and interview women I used to date. Give it like a year or two go by. I was like, hey, can we talk?
Not the exit interview.
I do that.
Oh, right. The exit interview.
I do that for real. And then the second girl I dated with a kid, she had a little boy. And I'm going to tell you, cute kid.
It was rambunctious.
People used to be like, oh, God, he's so cute. And I'm going to tell you, this woman could not control this kid worth a shit. It drove me crazy. I'm like, why don't you have no discipline? No, he didn't mean to knock that over. Oh, you know what? Don't do that.
He might have had ADHD real bad.
I asked her that.
Yeah, he probably had ADHD. Poor thing. That's how my oldest son was.
That goes back to that's not my problem.
Sometimes they can't help.
I asked her that. She said, no, he ain't got none of that. My son would never have it.
She's in her denial phase. That baby got ADHD.
But regardless, just watching her not show no discipline with this kid, and I'm like, bro, there's no way. I even went as far one time, and I was like, I'm gonna go on a little trip because I take women on trips with me all the time. We went on a trip, and I was like, hey, let's bring a little man too. We went on like a little kiddie trip, fam. Like the worst shit ever. I'm just gonna be honest. It was like,
let me ask you something.
That was like the worst.
Let me ask you a question.
Ever. I'm just
when you look at that, when you look at that situation with that young lady and that boy, where was the father at?
Poor thing. She didn't know.
Where was the father at?
He wasn't really in the kid's life. But he wasn't no dude that's in jail or nothing. The dude had a decent job.
But he wasn't really.
They had conflict.
Okay, but he wasn't in the kid's life. So right then and there. Kid ain't have ADHD. We as a melanated people need to stop giving into these Eurocentric BS nonsense.
Oh my God, Joe. You don't know that the kid did not
hold on,
have
let me finish.
ADHD.
Let me finish. He didn't have ADHD. He didn't have a father in his life.
I don't know.
That's what
all I know is I didn't like
That's not necessarily
I'm gonna tell you that right off the bat. He didn't have a dad in his life. That's what
I just know I didn't like it.
I didn't have a dad either, but
all right.
Just,
that's all I know.
And that's the one thing that black people do to me. That's the one thing that black people do wrong is their children will have issues that could be medically diagnosed and helped with whatever type of medical help that they could receive. You know what I'm saying? But they refuse to give into these Eurocentric terms and then let the fucking kid run amok and run amok and carry these fucking ADHD, autism, or autism is very easily diagnosed now, but Asperger's, bipolarism, manic depressive. They're gonna let these kids go through fucking elementary, junior high school, and high school with all these fucking issues, and guess what? They end up in fucking jail, or they just end up with a lifetime of problems and troubles and trauma because their parents didn't want to give into a Eurocentric fucking medical diagnosis or whatever. Some of these kids need to be helped. Some kids may need medication to help them. Well,
some kids.
I'm telling you, that's why there's how many. What is the prison population? What is the percentage of black people in prison population? Those black men or women or black men. I'm gonna put black men because they make up the greater portion of the prison population. Man, have their parents got them some help for either the manic depression, the ADHD, the just never being able to sit down and sit still, having to do something all the time, or whatever the issues are, whatever the issues were during their childhood, maybe they could have prevented them from being in prison. Because as we know, ADHD, ADD, it was autism and all these depressed, all these other issues. Most of them were black men. There was a high number of, or men, I'm going to say men. There was a higher number of men than women, but there are women with these same issues. But with the black community, we do not want, I'm not going to medicate my kid. I'm not going to do this. Well, take your fucking kid to therapy or something. Do something so that child can have a fucking chance and stay the fuck out of prison or dying.
The parents used to the kids.
Go find them a mentor.
Right. They just, the parents go numb and these kids are just doing whatever the fuck they want to do because the parents don't know how to control it as a young lady. She didn't know what the hell to do.
We be having a great evening and then like 2 hours, I'm just like, where's the, I mean.
Right. Like, where's the gun? That's how my older son used to be.
And to piggyback off of what Gigi said, you know, my oldest son, he's going to be 17 in a few weeks. And I started noticing that he was exhibiting behaviors when he was about 2 years old, and we were going through a divorce, and they kept putting it off like, oh, that's normal. He's acting out because home life changed, and I kept taking him to specialists until someone told me something that made sense, and I got a diagnosis for Asperger's. The Asperger's diagnosis was the best thing that ever happened to us because I was able to get my son help, and I was able to help him, and we've actually recovered because you're never cured from autism. You can never cure it.
Never.
But
I
actually was able to recover my son, and he lives a very normal life. I don't want he's normal anyway. He still like does things every once in a while.
We all got issues.
He comes and he does the Derek, and that's what I call it. But that diagnosis was the best thing that ever happened to us because now he lives a pretty regular life like all the other. You know, saying he plays football and he's very popular in school. He has a girlfriend. Like we live a really good life.
Oh,
Derek! Not taking those steps to get him help. And I've not been like, you're not going to keep telling me there's nothing wrong with my child. If I had not been getting help for him, it'd be a totally different situation.
Absolutely.
Unfortunately, Adante was the thing. Like that young lady's son. By the time Adante had severe ADHD, I was a young mom, 20. I didn't know what the hell no ADD, but the doctors have been noting it in his chart every time I took him to the doctor for his visits or whatever. So by the time he was 2 or 3 years old, he had already had stitches in his eyebrow, knocked one tooth out, knocked the other one all the way clear up in his gum, which took 5 more years to grow out. he was like a little Tasmanian devil tornado. He was having trouble
These
at
have a
preschool.
flashback.
He couldn't. He could not learn his ABCs. He could not do. Man, he was aggressive only because he just could not sit still. So when it got to the point where the preschool daycare could not handle him, then I said, well, let me take him to the doctor because she said we can't do anything with him, and I had to work. So the doctor he said, well, why are you holding him? I said, oh, you don't know why I'll let him go. But that boy was like the guy, like I said, the Tasmanian devil. That boy ping-ponging off of that doctor's walls and corners and tearing up his office. I said, this is why I'm holding. Because he tried to even allude to me beating him because he said, well, where are all these bruises coming from? I said, well, he's super active. He's doing it to like he bumps into everything. He falls all the time. But when I turned him loose, he said, do you know what ADHD is? I said, no, what is that? And he said, attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, and your son has definitely have that. And I was like, oh, for real? Oh, I'm not giving my son no damn medicine. I ain't doing that. He said, ma'am, let me talk to you for a minute. And he explained what this, what it does and how I gave my child the first time I ever gave him back then, whatever it was, my son sat down and colored in his coloring book for like 3 hours. And I cried because I'd never seen my son sit down for longer than 2 or 3 minutes. You know what I'm saying? And then he came back the next week telling me all his ABCs. He was able to count and everything. But because of that medicine, it helped him. But if I would have been one of those parents, of ignorant ass parents, that I'm not medicating my child, I'm not doing this, he don't have he just needs love, he needs some extra attention because his daddy not here. Well, guess the fuck what? My son would have had a whole fucking lifetime of trauma, or at least a whole 12 years or however many more years he had through school. You know what I'm saying? It was already hard enough in school for him, but that medicine really, really did help him. And I'm telling you, when I cried and I bawled like a baby because I never saw him sit down ever to do anything, less known color.
So
and he was so content and he was so happy and proud of himself that he was able to do this. And Mommy, I know my ABCs, A, B, C, D, E. I mean, it was so beautiful. So that medicine is not, it has nothing to me to do with Eurocentric, blah, 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 and all of that rhetoric. What if it's something that's going to help my child be successful, then goddamn it, so be it. I'm going to help my child be successful. And if I see that if I'm giving it something and it's not helping him, then goddamn, and if he's regressing, then maybe we need to go back to the drawing board. That's not it. You don't have to give your child medication, but you can definitely give him or her something, whether it's some type of therapy or something to help your child. So that's all I got.
What you saying, Joe?
Absolutely.
Joe,
absolutely. No, I was saying absolutely. I agree. Yeah. Give them some omega-3 oils, studies out there all day long show. I can tell you Dr. Quillen did a study where he did 2 weeks on a young man who was with ADHD. And that was when he started giving he started giving omega-3 oils to the kids.
That shit actually does work. You know what?
Absolutely.
When I was
really, how old was the kid?
My ex made me take that shit, and it was the most disgusting thing ever. I had to take it my whole pregnancy. I actually quit nursing because he was like, "You get the fish oil today because you had to take it while you're nursing." I quit nursing because I was tired of taking the fish oil pills. But that stuff really does work. My daughter, she's 9 years old. And she's smarter than most grown people that I know.
It's brain
food.
They
got the ones they got the kind that smart. What's this shit called? Sprouts. It's the liquid kind. It's the lime one, and you pour it in your smoothie, and it almost tastes like key lime pie.
Let me order a bunch of that so I can send it to old girl and she can bathe that baby.
Yeah. You need to send that.
Bathed in it, like Gigi said.
He need
Gigi
more
said
than
that baby should. Her baby couldn't sit down.
And lay
this
him
little
on
kid
the
wouldn't even sit still for 2 seconds. I'm like, what are we doing?
That's what I'm saying. My kid had got stitches. He had knocked out a tooth, knocked one up in his gum. He had bruises all over his body just because he was so accident prone and clumsy and rambunctious. They think they act first and then think later. And that's a big thing with ADD or ADHD.
You want to know something, Gigi? You know what the mother said to me one time?
What?
He said, "I'm gonna be honest. Sometimes he drive me crazy." I was like, "Drive you crazy?"
Sometimes, girl, she was trying to be nice about it.
I was like, hold on. Did you not see what he just did in my basement yesterday? He just playing, but he drive you crazy. All right.
Ooh, she said he just playing.
I could only imagine what he's doing to the pool balls and everything.
Joe, I had this conversation even with Dr. Umar Johnson. He's a friend of mine. I had a conversation with him about this. Yeah. You know, he works with kids, so it was just interesting his touch on it too. But it was funny. He gave me a lot of good information. But I was like,
ask him.
In my mind, I was like, but he ain't dating no woman with kids. But anyway, that's a whole nother topic.
Yeah. Ask him where the school at. Ask him where the school at.
Oh my gosh.
We still looking for the school. Dr.
But it was just funny. He gave me some great details. I'm like, but he ain't dating no chick.
Well, he's a genius when it comes to, you know, dealing with the kids and whatnot, you know.
My man Rocky got some good comments out there. You reading the comments? So people got some great comments out there.
Date me when I turn 59.
Yeah.
Huh?
I mean, but I work out every single morning. I'ma still look like this at 59 though. So we might be able to do something.
Period.
That boy Rocky said, "Do I got a number 5?" I do, Rocky, but I wanted to keep it.
I woke up like this.
Yeah, no, you gave number 5, didn't it?
No, I get number 4. I told him I was going to just talk about the first 3, but we went to number 4. I got a 5th one too. I wrote everything.
I bet the doozy shit.
Look, we're gonna hold number 5 off until next week, and get into
that's if you can come back next week.
Get you back on the show.
Yeah, we'll talk about it.
We'll talk about it and see if
Are you coming back next week to give us number 5?
We'll have to see. Check the calendar and all that good stuff.
It depends if Rocky really want number 5. Rocky got to really want number 5.
I think Rocky probably do want number 5.
Rocky said this list is on point. Rocky, you felt this list, did you? Rocky was thinking, damn, bro.
Rocky is actually not to put him out there, but he's actually in an interracial relationship also. He's been with his wife.
I can believe it.
So that's probably why he's filling the list. He can relate.
Absolutely. Right.
Yeah, and to Shayna's point, I don't think that
my son is too. My 19-year-old too.
With Diego, I don't think that
relationship.
My son.
I want to talk about one day. I want to talk about
my son.
Why a lot of younger black men don't even start out the gate dating black women. I've had this conversation.
Well, no. Again, remember I said we live in the area where there's just not there. It's like a 3 percentile of black women or black people. Period. Black people. That's men, women, and children. So there's just not a lot of us. So a lot of the brothers, and I've asked the brothers, they said, because where y'all at? Where was you at? You know, I had to get what I got, what was available to me. So basically my son said, we're not in Oakland, Mom. We're not even in Long Beach or LA here. We out here where we at. So
and that goes back.
She's a sweetheart though. He doesn't exclude a race. That's who he fell in love with.
And that goes
I
back.
I don't care.
That goes back to what we were talking about earlier. You know, these women aren't even at the places that these guys are at now. You know what I mean? So as far as them, you know, holding on to a bitter, you know, thing from way before, they might have that bitter whatever of the trauma that they dealt with, not being able to, you know, not getting recognized or looked at by black women. But remember, they're out at these places now that black women aren't even at. So they're not even in the proximity.
When we get off the air, he gonna tell me where they be at. I'm gonna squeeze all his ass in one of these dresses, and I'm coming.
Period.
There you go.
I might not buy no $500 bottle of wine, but you know, I might buy me a $40 or $50 steak.
I'm gonna have to come back and talk about number 5 because that was the one that you're gonna want to hear before you say I'm gonna step to them places. Number 5 is the one you're gonna hear. So I'm gonna have to come back and talk about number 5. And
you definitely gonna have to come back.
Rocky gonna be feeling number 5. Rocky gonna feel number 5.
Man. All I know is
better not be about no
pretty brown skin.
They wear them too.
Mentioned a tight dress. Pretty brown skin mentioned a tight dress, and then Diego was like, "Oh, yeah, that's right, number 5." So I don't know.
I got this shit written down over here. I got a whole bunch of different ones.
I can't wait to hear it.
Hey,
I just knew Joe was about to say something about my ass. I knew you was going to say something.
Next week, same place, same time, y'all.
Second cliffhanger.
No Panties After Dark. your relationship, conversation, congregation. We will see y'all next week.
Shout out to my godmom at Point of Light in Long Beach. Hey, Rhapsody, I know you listening. PointOfLight.com. Check out. She listening to us right now. Period.
All right.
And I appreciate the people that's reached out to me on Facebook, even though I was kept in the secret because I'm a quiet person. But a couple of people have been DMing me, and if y'all want me to hit y'all with some more answers, you can DM me. I might have time.
Hey,
to
I'm gonna tell y'all. I'm
gonna have to pick your brain about some business stuff though, like on the serious side.
Diego had one of the first things Diego said to me when we first met years ago. He said, "Joe, I can tell anybody how to be a millionaire. It'll probably be the most boring 6 to 9 years of their life.
Yes.
But
don't matter.
And that's the reason why most people won't do it. Is because we want immediate gratification.
Yes.
And
that's the first thing I tell you.
Wait.
You're right. That was the first thing we talk about.
Absolutely.
Well, shit, I made it 39 years not being a millionaire. I got another 6 to 9, so let's talk.
Me too. Like I'm ready. What? I just think I'm gonna have to pick his brain.
Rocky, listen.
Rocky hit me up on the DM on Facebook.
His name is right there.
No, you got to come back next week, Rocky.
Y'all can just look him up
Make
on
Rocky
social
come
media
back.
platforms right there. Diego Denson. You want to hit him up and he's filming his life right about now. So you'll be seeing some podcasts and stuff coming out later about the life of Mr. Make Sense. And you're welcome. By the way, I gave you that title right there. Mr. Make Sense.
Thank you for joining us today, Diego. We appreciate it. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you, guys.
Very interesting. Right, very interesting.
It wasn't what you thought, was it?
Not at all.
Yeah. No, it wasn't. I'm really happy about that, though. I'm really happy. I'm glad it is what it was because I actually agreed with a couple of things.
Look at this: YouTube, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Anchor. Listen, y'all hit us up on these platforms. Listen, I just need at least 60 seconds of listen time. Okay, just go to each one, listen for at least 60 seconds. All right, because I'm trying to get the algorithms working the way they need to work. So just give me 60 seconds. All right, YouTube, Google.
We just need 3 pumps.
There you go.
3 pumps.
There you go.
Let's gotta put the tip in.
That way, everybody
all you
can
get it.
Right? 3 pumps. Just get it in.
Gotta put the tip in.
Get on out.
And a swirl. Don't forget the swirl. 3 pumps.
And a swirl. And a couple of
that left hook. Then we all good, right? All right, ladies, we out of here. It is
good night, y'all. We enjoyed it.
See y'all next week. Peace.
No panties.